Okay, we are live. Welcome to Bunto's Klingon Death with Honor Holiday Room. I'm your go. I'm your I'm your ghost. I'm your host, Bunto Skiffler, and you may never perceive your own life as a gift, but to me it truly is. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. We have two distinguished guests. We have Fiction Fighter and her very good friend Jenny Blank. How are you doing tonight, girls?
Ready to do
Very
battle
well,
when
thank
it's
you.
needed.
Now, I hope all our listeners realize I emphasize girls, opposed to males who dominate rooms with their Bible bullshit. Do I recall that correctly, Jenny?
Well, I believe there were some words to that effect that we have been in hangouts where the scripture sword fighting was went on.
Sword fighting, good.
Yeah, that's
Arena, they prefer arena, males. True.
And we're not just
well,
talking about
it looked
okay?
as a purebred atheist, a pureblood atheist, my point of view is a little bit different. They talk, that book has a lot of stuff in it. The words are really small and the pages are really thin, and um, you know, I was like 5 or 6 in. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not."
That's right. Okay. You're a very direct person, Jenny, and you want to get straight to the facts, right? While the males who talk their theology for hours on end, that is just loopy stuff. I mean, you will not put up with that for more than 10 seconds, correct?
Well, I put up with it for longer than that. I listen as long as I can, but eventually it does lose me because I am not familiar with the Bible. If I prove to myself that it was errant in the first few pages, then does not that render the rest of the book in its entirety moot? Is my
Fiction?
point. It is fiction. Yes, if it's proved itself to be errant.
Oh, I meant fiction fighter. I mean, how am I going to say it? I can't say the T word, right? Fiction.
No.
Well, give me another name, because if I say fiction, she thinks I'm talking fiction.
You say fiction fighter.
Okay.
FF.
FF. Okay.
FF.
FF.
Yeah.
Your take, please.
My take on what? I'm sorry, I was just
You weren't paying attention, were
I
you?
was staring
The
at the
lady
hangout.
the lady was describing what was wrong with theology.
With theology. Yeah, it's
It was an
based on crap.
observation.
It's just crap. It's opinions. It's precept arguments that go nowhere. I like to stick with reality.
No fight has ever won. Ever.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, and reality wins every time, but it goes ignored often.
And we have no impartial judges to no one to rule on rules on observance of rules of debate, on presentation of argument. I mean, if it's a debate, if we're having a debate team,
it's unruly.
It's not it's not judged on the merits that it should be. Everyone at the end. The Christians walk away and say that they won, and
all because they spent a little bit of other arguments, or
well,
they might
I guess they could say that they won. I mean, they believe bullshit anyway. So which isn't really surprising, but that no matter how elegant or well prepared your argument is, that it will be insulted. I mean, pearls before swine.
The God's feelings will be hurt. Okay, listen. We dabbled a bit at the beginning with the gender binary. Okay, let's suppose those rooms, instead of they are, let's face the fact, they're all males in there. Even with
it's male dominated. Yeah.
There's hardly any women atheists on the Google. I mean, or YouTube. There's very few of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even when we do show up, we get dominated by the bullshit.
Not me.
Well, or we get booted out, or we get silenced, or our microphones go down.
Right.
So we can't be heard. There's all these little tricks that people play,
Right. Okay. Well, just let me, develop this situation. Okay. If these rooms were 50-50, write down 50% male, 50 female. I mean, would the situation improve, or does it just not matter because, I mean, does the gender binary matter?
Not as much as the content, to me. Not as much as the content.
All right. Why?
I find the content. I've heard it's boring. I've heard it over and over and over. As I said, that it's either you believe that it's true or you don't. If it is errant, then why are we, to argue something that you don't believe with such gusto and in such as if they argue it as if it is real. They lend it credence by indulging the Christians,
Okay.
which I find I don't understand it. I'm
Okay,
baffled.
this is a good subject because let me pull. I'm gonna show you guys a point here. Okay, so the men are going on about their foolish bullshit. Okay, and a female comes up and says, "Well, there's no proof in that, right?"
That wasn't not the way that I would have said it. They certainly have their own feelings about it, and they think it's very important. Although I think that
well, listen, please do not be polite. Let's talk facts.
Either it's errant or
men are going on with their bullshit.
Is it
and
errant or is it not?
A woman comes forward, a female, somebody with ovaries, and says, "I'm sorry, but there's no proof to that."
How
right?
dare we?
So they ignore the woman, correct, and continue.
That's never happened to me. If it did, I'd be really,
Yeah.
I would be.
Well, okay. Well, what does happen to you when you do that?
I don't.
They listen to you and say, "Oh, your point is valid."
I don't argue the Bible. I can't argue the Bible because I don't know the Bible.
So you're content just to sit there and let them go on with their delusion without saying
I
a
watch
word.
I watch them for a few minutes and I leave.
You go ahead and abandon.
I watch it for quality. I watch it for quality of content. I mean, if someone brings a good, I understand debate.
Are you afraid to say that what they're talking about is delusional?
She throws people like me a link. It's an invite link, and I get in there not knowing what the fuck. It's a shitstorm. That's what she does.
do you? I mean, FF, do you get in there and tell them that they're delusional?
I will to a degree. Yep.
Or are you afraid to do that?
I listen for a minute, and for a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, depending, and then I wait for a break where I can speak up if I need to. If I feel I can speak up, then I speak up.
Okay, so you politely intervene that what they're talking about is delusional, and then what happens?
I use a lot of humor. It gets the energy levels going, and then everybody starts talking at once.
Guys, I mean, I want to know what happens.
Sometimes she does drive-bys.
Drive-by shootings.
Do they
does drive-bys?
Or do they?
She does hit and run.
It's fun. It's the most fun, yeah.
Then they mute her.
Oh, okay. Is that what happens? Do they mute you?
Well, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's happened on occasion. Yep.
Okay. So listen to me, girls, please. Okay, you offer that what they're talking about is delusion. So
we getting dominated, Bunto?
Yeah,
it's just like
Are you dominating us?
Are you getting all testosterone over there?
Dude, no, I'm trying to get to the point. You have to get to the point in a hangout.
You're too serious. You get too serious. We want to have fun.
Okay,
what want to have fun.
Well, I mean, are you afraid to just no. As two ladies?
Never afraid.
Tell the men that what they're talking about is delusional, and then you get your mics muted or you leave. Is that what happens?
No, not to me. I don't go to many hangouts. I go to a few, hang for a few minutes, get bored, and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
So it's really you're not fearful as much as you just don't want to offer anything to the hangout.
I'm not fearful. I'm bored by it.
I mean, you feel like you have nothing to offer to the hangout?
Not when they're talking about that. I don't. I don't have anything to offer to it. Nor do I. There's that lack of desire. We got to factor in there.
I like to offer humor at things that deserve to be ridiculed. That's mostly. I think that's the main content I provide. Right.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting point you bring, Jenny. So you do not desire to offer anything to a hangout.
Yeah, she does. Yes, you do. You provided facts and your experiences and your thoughts on and your opinions on what you think of what's going on.
Not too much. I mean, not too much. I really haven't been in many hangouts because, as I say, I can't argue the Bible because I've never read the Bible. I have no intention of reading the Bible because I don't
There's no need to. It's a fiction.
So that
It's like
really,
that's your storybook.
That would be like a total, utter waste of my time. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be
well,
like torture.
I mean,
It's like trying to.
That would be like torture to me.
Yeah.
The idea of
It just
reading the
seems-
Bible would be torture.
well, it just seems to hold you back from, offering any sort of common sense. Your rationale saying that you don't know the Bible.
The Bible is bullshit. I
You can offer that.
It's bullshit. I have it written. I have a post where I determined that it was bullshit in the first 5 pages, and and then I have a synopsis of what I understood in the first 5 pages, that I found it to be utterly ridiculous, and that to read it any further was a complete waste of my time.
And you make a great point there, Jenny. You make a great point there.
I came to the Bible late in life, and Christians do not have the high road. I came from a family where Christians were laughed at and made fun of. From
the Holy Rollers.
Yeah,
Well,
that they were laughed at. So I never felt that Christianity or that religion was sacrosanct or deserved particularly any respect.
Fair enough. Okay, Jenny, do
Yeah.
you think anybody else shares your same view?
I haven't met many.
Oh,
I
or
think
any,
many
actually.
do. There's many out there that do. They just don't get on the Hangouts, I think.
now, Jenny, when you do a hangout, you see, it's just not confined to the people in the room. It could be a live hangout like this where you have an audience
Mm-hmm.
that's also listening at the same time. So if you offer something to the hangout, it's also to your audience as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people are going to see this down the road. Could be years down the road, and they're going to say,
yeah.
So if you do offer that, that you took, 5 seconds to look at the Bible and determine that it was,
bullshit.
Bullshit. You see, there might be other people in the audience who will say, yes, that's exactly the same, conclusion I came to. You see, that's you offering, to the hangout something that other people could latch on to.
And I have read the whole thing, and that's how I became an atheist.
Really?
Yep.
Could you, extrapolate on that, please?
Well, at first,
did you have to read the whole thing to become an atheist?
No, I didn't have to read the whole thing. Like Jay said, the very first bit of the story, like I read it as like a storybook the first time through, right? It was very interesting little stories in there. I was thinking, oh, this would make a great movie, or something like that. And which they did. They made many movies about it, right? And also my mom would play like Jesus Christ Superstar, we would clean house or whatnot. So I'd listen to the lyrics of songs and the hymns and all that stuff. And then there was the Bible stories, and then there was the church experience. That's good. That would be an 8-hour hangout to talk about that. But I could never really take it that seriously based on how people would present it to you, So, and a combination of all that's basically what made me an atheist, because it's just I put God to the test, or the imaginary God to the test, and nothing came out of it. So, why believe in something that doesn't really materialize?
All right. So, FF, were you like a get down on your knees and pray to God every night type believer?
No.
Okay. Were you ever going in that direction and then you snapped out of it, or do you think you would never go in that direction?
Say that again.
Like,
ask that question again.
Were you going to go hardcore Christian believer ever in your life?
If I was convinced, I would have. But I wasn't convinced.
So you were almost there, or you were never there?
I would say I was kind of like on the fence for a long time.
You look at somebody like G-Man or Veckel.
I was never there. No.
Okay, they've gone off the ledge.
I would say so. Yeah.
Into the deep end of the pool.
If what they portray online is genuine, then yes, I would say point of no return, right?
Oh yeah, they seem that seems like insanity to me, and it is that to in the face of reason and presented with obvious fact to deny the level of denial and they don't. Fact is not something that they deal with. A fact is not something that they deal with. I tried to get a fundee once to agree upon the definition of evidence.
Yeah.
I said you choose the dictionary, a dictionary of your choice, and we'll decide upon the dictionary, of decide on a definition of evidence before we start. They
All right.
would not do it. That they went to they said they refused to use the dictionary. A Christian refused. Okay, Christians refused to use the dictionary and call the Bible, call Scripture evidence.
Right.
The argument ended before it ever began.
True.
They
won't trust
very
anyone
effectively shut the whole thing down. They're cheaters. They're liars. I don't like them. I find them to be
entertainment.
I'm not even entertained. I'm kind of I'm disgusted. They're distasteful to me.
Okay, FF, do you want to break through to the faith head, or do you just want to watch them as entertainment?
Breakthrough, is it possible? I mean, they're steadfast in their book. They won't step outside of that book and listen to anything outside and take it in. So I mean, breakthrough, what do you mean?
Like,
you
How is
can't.
that possible?
You can't play a game with someone that does not that cheats. You're playing one game and they're playing another. There's no common ground. It doesn't matter how good your argument is. And I mean, and preparing these arguments so carefully and being all proud. It's like it's a time and effort spent on something that falls flat. I don't give a fuck how much effort you put. It falls flat time after time after time.
Yeah.
okay.
Have you ever noticed that you can't really have a real discussion with these people either? I mean, I
find that a lot they tend to go for a simple explanation much more than they go for some highfalutin big word salad shit. They're going to reject that out of hand because they're not educated.
Yeah.
They do not have no interest in educating themselves. So when you start talking about all this stuff that you've studied, they have not studied that and they feel threatened. If you approach them from a more simplistic, more layman point of view, they often respond more positively. They are not nearly as threatened, especially Christian women. Christian women will shut you down. If you start big wording them and high horsing them, they will shut you down immediately.
All right, that's interesting. Thank you, Jay. Okay, let me ask you this, girls. Why do the YouTube Christians congregate around the atheist community?
To sharpen their sword, so to speak.
No, because that's part of that's carrying the word. Isn't that part of the whole?
Okay, so it's evangelism. They're trying to flip atheists.
Part of the crazy fucking shit they do is like they gotta make everybody miserable. They're miserable, so they gotta make everyone else miserable too.
Or are they just boring?
There's something wrong with it. It's part of the.
I don't find them boring. I don't find them all boring. Some of them are.
I find them all. Every single one of them just piss me off. I just don't want. I don't want to talk to them.
Okay, a bunch of Christians get together and they just have their boring conversations, right? But then if they can go to an atheist hangout and like take it over or have arena battle with atheists, it makes it more interesting for them. What do you think?
I am personally am not here to amuse Christians. That's no part of anything I do is about that to be entertainment for them. I do not lend credence to what they do. To allow them to use their
platform,
their bullshit on my logic and reason is I do not cast my pearls before those swine.
That's a scripture.
Okay, well, okay.
May I answer that?
It's the only one I know.
I am here to get together with more people like Jen and yourself and people that are like-minded, think outside that storybook, that are able, they're capable still to reason and be logical. And for me, that's also a form of entertainment as well. I mean, it fills in the so-called boring times in my life. So I get online and I connect with people, and that's the best part about this whole thing.
Very good. Okay, well, let me ask you this, FF. Do you have any Christian friends online in G+?
Some have probably slipped in there somewhere.
Well, I mean, describe them. I mean, how do you love them?
As long as they don't try to evangelize me, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
because we have a lot more in common in our humanity than than that their beliefs or whatever. So
okay,
I
but
mean,
you wouldn't hold their beliefs against them, right? You still, keep them.
not necessarily. As long as they don't bring that into it, they don't try to evangelize me, then we can go from there.
Or have you found that they all try to evangelize you?
No, some know better.
How about you, Jenny? Have you made any Christian friends online?
Absolutely not. Just by virtue of the fact that they are someone that would go for that, would drink that bathwater, that indicates to me that they are somewhat deficient in mental capacity, and that tells me enough about them that I would not choose to be friends with them. I am a militant atheist.
Yes.
I am, I disdain it.
Yeah, keep going.
I
but
hate it. I
but
hate it, and
you don't hate the people though that are under that
yeah,
delusion.
I do. A lot of them I hate them. Well, because let me explain it.
Please.
That and this is something because I was an atheist off by myself. I mean, it's a set it and forget it thing. There's no booklet. We don't have any meetings, and there's no instruction. No instructions. I was off by myself, and my attitude was just fucking leave me alone. Don't bring that over here, and just I'm not bothering anybody. But there was really no conversation of it. I didn't have know any other atheists, or didn't worry about it much. It wasn't until I came on YouTube
Yes.
that I was exposed to Christianity and the attitudes, the argument that I discovered that Christianity is basically filth. They, as a group, they lie more than anyone. And they have these the Christian ideals, or at least what I understood to be Christian ideals, were supposed to be like good and altruistic.
Right.
But instead, I have one thing I noticed, that they are the worst liars I've ever met, and their leaders lie. And
Yes.
I mean, and not only do they not just lie, but they lie about things that you can check on. It's just
Right.
obvious. It just out. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But it's because they never look anything up. I mean, I'm like, oh, I'm checking that. But they will lie. Character assassinations, bearing false witness. They are pretty much morally. To me, I find them inferior. I find them of low. They're just
Character.
very low character.
All right. Let me ask you
I
this.
don't like them.
Okay, Jenny. Let's sort of characterize a Christian, okay, or a faith head. All right. Mental illness. Okay, is believing Bible fairy tales? Do you consider that a mental illness?
I do. I actually do.
Please elaborate.
It's a way of thinking that suspends
Rational
thinking, and there's
That's
a
what
whole,
brainwashing does.
mindset. There's a whole mindset, and they have to be indoctrinated. They think completely differently. They just out of hand refuse.
reality.
Well, they don't value knowledge. They don't value
Right.
learning. They do not want to know anything. They are threatened by, and they're so driven by fear um, I find that to say I find them to be cowardly, and the lying. I have a thing about lying. They, as a group, I didn't know that there was a whole group of people that all lied, but this is something that I learned from the Christians themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, Asia Socrates, thank you.
Hello, Ashes.
Hello.
Hello. Asia is my friend Jenny Blank and Fiction you know well.
Fix it, fighter.
Hi.
Hi.
Merry Christmas and a Happy Jesus Day.
Happy Mythmas.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Bah, humbug.
Yeah,
Jenny was
exactly.
telling us about. Okay, I asked her this question: is believing Bible fairy tales mental illness? And she provided a very cogent answer. What's your take, please? You believe them all.
Yes, believing in fairy tales is mental illness.
Your take, please. Fiction or acious.
I'm,
That's
I'm
happened to me lately. Go ahead, Fiction.
people have heard me plenty, so I want to hear what other people have to say as well. So I'll
No,
just
no, no.
I'll listen
I
for a little
said
bit.
yes. Yes, they are. Believing in fairy tales, when provided evidence to the contrary, is a mental illness.
All right. Is it willful ignorance? Or is it
Well,
mental
it
illness?
is. It is when it's dishonest, and
Yeah.
I would consider that mental illness by default. Because
Self-imposed.
if you have to be dishonest about that, about some fundamental aspect of
Reality.
reality,
Yeah.
then you're mentally ill.
Okay, if there's any way to get under a faith head's skin is to say this is mental illness, right? I mean, as soon as you mention mental illness, the pitchforks
Oh, right
come
away
out
it's
and they want to
denial.
burn you. Yeah.
Right away.
Okay, so why does that affect a believer so much by saying that it is mental illness? Anybody, open the floor up.
Well, nobody likes to be called mentally ill.
Right. Nobody likes that.
Yeah. Because it may be true.
Yes, that's exactly the point, Acius, that you can prove something easily is that. Believing in Noah's Ark, talking snakes, walking on water, transmutation of materials into another substance are easily proven as wacky.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can befriend the mentally ill, right? Is that, or like Jenny's position, just to, forgo that?
Well, not if they're combative. I mean, we can be, empathetic of the mentally ill, and but they, if they're needing help, I'm not capable of helping them. They need, if they need professional help, then they need professional help. They need to be diagnosed and treated as mentally ill. To take them seriously and spend enormous amounts of time trying to change their minds is, to me, a waste of time.
Okay, Jenny,
Yeah.
would you like
May
to
I,
have?
may I
Okay,
stop? Wait, can I
okay,
stop and interject something?
go ahead.
Okay, regarding mentally ill. Okay, so it can be a form of mental illness, but I think there's a lot of mentally ill people out there that also reject the whole belief of God and all that. So I want to just stipulate that it's not clearly all mentally ill people are believers. So we want to stipulate
Okay.
that, right? That it's not just like we can't blanket that and say it's all mentally illness.
It
Right?
is a system of denial that is emotionally and mentally extremely unhealthy. That it takes a half click mind fuck to get there. Something has to be done to the human mind in order. It has to be trained in. That it is not natural, and they all share the same method of protecting it by just like the rock wall denial. And they have the mantras that they repeat and repeat and
Right.
repeat. It's
like
just
mental illness is a prerequisite kind of. It's like a weak mind state, right? Where they're very vulnerable to this kind of.
I believe that it takes a weak mind to, unless if they start as children, I can see, but I find them to be weak-minded, and fearful.
Yeah.
Right, very
They're
good.
totally ruled by fear.
And
Okay.
that's what brought me into it. That sucked me in for a bit because I was going through hard times in my early life, and so that I was already. It's like what's the word I'm trying to think of? It was almost,
Ready. You're prepared for some bullshit to come hit your brain.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I couldn't quite
You're in a
handle.
weakened state. Weakened
Yeah,
state.
yeah. I was pray for them, literally.
Jesus loves you even though you're a fuck up, right?
Mhm. Yeah, all that shit.
Well, okay, well, let's imagine this, guys. Okay, the loaded hangout full of theists talking their theology, and somehow you could, it's being broadcast to a public audience at the same time, right? Somehow you could get into the hangout with a mental health expert, and that person could explain to the audience while these people are talking what their, delusions are without being muted, without Nadia clicking the mute button, to save the precious feelings of the theists from what is actually true in reality, how sick these people are with their delusions. I mean, what do you think of that, guys? To have an actual pro
I would
professional
be
expert.
completely useless.
Okay, why? To the audience? You think the audience would have no
Well,
reckoning?
to the theist, well, the
Okay, you see, Jenny, you're not only in the room with the theist, you're also broadcasting to an audience when you do a
oh,
live.
great, all right, I don't know. These are people that call Richard Dawkins and DeGrasse Tyson idiots.
Right.
After that, what are you going to say?
But what would the audience get out of that?
I
To
think
hear what?
the audience just needs anyone that hears them talk that is not. But if they're in the cult, then they will agree with them. It's just we need to breed it out. I guess I don't know.
I've got the only thing I can think of is you gotta teach people how to think for themselves. If they don't think for themselves, make their own decisions, and they have to do their own research. I
That's
mean,
kinda
each individual is responsible for their own beliefs or the lack of belief, right?
This is why we need to openly ridicule and make
Exactly.
fun of it. We need blasphemy is a good tool. We need to remove the sanctity of it. We cannot allow it to be talked about in hushed tones. It is not. There is no sanctity. Oh my God! It's like fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
You believe bullshit, and that is, I think, probably the most effective thing that we do.
Yeah, exposing the
Okay.
bullshit.
Exposing the bullshit is the most effective thing we need to do.
No, pulling away the respect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, degrading the.
The piety.
Taking away the sanctity of it. Reducing it to a plane where you can question it and look at it. It is occupied a place of of such holiness that it was hushed tones. I mean, screw that. They don't have the high road.
The audience. Okay, let's focus for a bit on the audience. Okay, that's listening to the room full of theists talk. Describe them, please. Recklin, thanks for joining us tonight. Anybody? Can anybody want to describe that audience that's listening to a typical Nadia hangout?
Listening to theists talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
You said they're all believers, right?
That's would be the only reason I would think they would listen. I never listen to theists talk. It's crazy.
Why does anybody watch a Nadia hangout?
I've never watched one.
Fiction.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few.
Why?
Because there's a lot of ideas that get spread around, and it's like she's not just about theists or just about atheists. I like to hear everybody's ideas, and
Like, what do you get out of them?
Various.
Like battle? I mean, you like watching the battle, or you want to hear these extrapolations on philosophy, or what?
Well, I'm not hooked on them. Don't get me wrong here. It's just like when there's not much else going on, I always seem to find her because she's going 24/7. Seems. But,
Yes.
Yeah, it's just interesting to hear other brains speaking out, like just how they think and what they think about and how they think about what they think about.
Could there be any Christians in that audience who are about to drop off? Or darkest before the dawn. They're just needing to satisfy in their brain that this is all bullshit, and they're gonna flip out.
They would probably not go to a theist hangout, then they would go
Well,
to an
you
atheist
think
hangout.
Nadia doesn't necessarily advertise them as theist hangouts. In fact, she does the opposite, and then theists show up.
Yeah, and because you know why? Her hangouts are easy pickings for them because they come in and they just basically take over the hangout, and in the meantime they're trying. It seems like they're trying to, like I don't know what the story is. She's near the end of her life or what, but it's almost like they're trying to.
Damsel in distress. The damsel in distress.
Yeah, rescue her soul or whatever.
Okay. Some people watch these things for the battle. They want to see, either theists battle each other, or an atheist take on a theist, or a bunch of theists jump all over an atheist. People just want to see how your argument stands up, if they can cave your head in. That's what I think.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Thank you. Okay, so would somebody who would demonstrate how that is mental illness be of any worth to the audience? to say, to watch, Rancan rattle off how much he hates Nadia's gender, and then the mental illness expert would say, well, this is because he's a closet homosexual. You understand what I'm coming from?
yeah. I'm not going to that show.
Well.
Recklin, what's your take, please?
On theist hangouts.
Sure.
I like to watch them some of the time because I like to get different perspectives. I like to listen or read something that I disagree with every once in a while. I try once a day.
Okay.
So I can question what I believe, so I don't get in a vicious circle of just me reinforcing my false beliefs.
Okay. So you do get some takeaway from the extrapolations from either group.
Yes.
Is there any that you prefer more? Do you prefer like the theists, rationalization for their beliefs, or do you like the way the atheists knock them down?
I like when a rational argument is made, either
Okay.
from an atheist or theist.
Oh, either flavor is appealing to you.
Sure.
Like, somebody comes forward with a precept argument, and an atheist, cleanly, cogently knocks that down, or the theist overwhelms the atheist with the precept argument. You see,
I've never seen anyone overwhelmed by the precept argument.
okay, it's an easy argument to knock down.
It's not an argument.
Okay. Anyone?
It's a circular discussion, is all it is.
Well, it's a string of assertions, is what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jenny, do you know what the
At least, I'd like to qualify. At least the side 10 style precept that we see on Hangouts a lot. There are presuppositional arguments that work out better.
I'm just annoyed by it.
Well, they're poured in, Jenny.
I am confident in my atheism. I am, I don't question it. Have been an atheist for many years. I'm very comfortable with it. I'm not. It's a little late. I will not be converted, and that I find it annoying to constantly listen to people spout bullshit. Is not something that I find any pleasure in. I'd rather read a book or watch a movie. Talk about politics. Talk about computers.
Hey, welcome all the guests there, Bunto.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
This is full now, isn't it?
Klingon Death with Honor Holiday Room. Hope you enjoyed.
Hello,
Okay, well,
hello.
okay. This is
Hi,
just we're talking
everybody.
arena. Hi, Sid.
Hi,
We're
Sid.
talking arena here.
Hey, FF.
The Christian audience watching a Nadia hangout, watching how Nadia protects the theists and their assertions and premises. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, does not the Christian audience want to see a theist completely smash in the head of an atheist
What?
who doesn't know the precept argument counter?
Generally,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd like to see him try.
It's like WWF, huh?
It is WWF.
No, the thing
Because
is,
it's their rage. They hate. They
Yes.
absolutely hate.
atheists get destroyed in arguments all the time. It's just they don't admit it. Theists
really?
a lot of the time admit it.
I never get destroyed.
destroy
I never get
Whoa,
destroyed. I'm
shit.
never destroyed. I am
You
always.
can't
Oh, I
destroy
say this as an
reality.
I will die an
Yes,
atheist.
guys,
I
I
will
say
never
this as an
bullshit.
atheist.
I don't get
I
it.
say this as an atheist.
How do you
Interesting.
how do you destroy an atheist? I mean, what, you're going to change my belief?
Destroy an atheist? I
Yeah.
mean, an atheist makes a bad argument and you knock it down.
Yeah,
well,
words,
yeah,
words, in words
I
only. In words
don't
only.
need to argue about my atheism.
There's no bad argument for atheism. They're all good.
Yeah.
Considering what they're arguing against.
I don't need
The only
permission.
bad atheist is a fake atheist. A Poe.
Well, wait. You know what's even worse than a fake atheist is a hapless atheist. Is
What's
that what you're getting at, Recklin?
hey guys, what's a fake atheist? This is new to
I
me.
can't.
Okay, go ahead, fiction. What's a fake atheist?
A fake atheist is someone who's not really an atheist. You get one of two choices. You're an atheist or you're a believer. That's it.
So it's a believer masquerading as an atheist?
Or an agnostic.
Yeah.
How about this? A believer who's afraid.
A weak atheist.
A believer who's afraid to say that they are a believer. What do you think of that?
Where does he live? Saudi Arabia?
No, I mean, he could be. Let's say that he grew up like Jenny in an atheist family, but he claims he's an atheist, but he
Oh,
believes in a
I see.
theist.
I see. Yeah, that makes
Oh,
sense.
that's distasteful.
But possible. Okay, so in the arena battle, the theist audience wants to see an atheist get his head crushed in
Generally, probably.
all the time.
Okay, and it's probably the same way in the reverse. So what's?
Well, okay, the atheist watching, the theist get his head crushed in is just like, well, I told you so, right?
I guess whatever. It's about the same in my opinion.
Do you mean head bashed in as literally, or you mean just an argument?
Figuratively, darling.
Yeah, but nobody's mind ever gets changed. There's no. I've never seen an argument.
Well, that's not the point. That's not Recklin's point. The point is that
What is the point?
how strong you can present your own side.
Well, here's the beauty of it.
So it's debate team, is what you're saying.
Yeah, here's the beauty of
Yes.
it. Here's the beauty of it. On this great debate community, you're not really going to. These people are like stuck in their ways. You're not going to convert someone on air on a great debate community or in G+.
I did.
But what happens is you can. So they're never going to yield their position. You're right about that, Jenny. But what happens is these things are live and they're on YouTube, and a lot of people watch them, and they stay on the internet for years and years and years. You might not convert anybody that you're arguing with, but you might.
I wrote an essay about that, actually.
Okay, tell us about it.
I just wrote about my observation of watching the argument go on, and about what I found to be the value. And I did mention that there were young people coming behind, and that the fact that the atheists tended to bring a rational argument, and the emotionalism and the obvious escapism into fantasy that the Christians do has already made an impact. As a matter of fact, I have got done some research and got some returns that that some young people have gone behind and are finding Christianity to be it's embarrassing itself. It is not cool. It's not cool, is what they're saying. That they're like kids that are in junior high, and they're saying that the two things they say is it's dumb and it's not cool. We all know what that means.
Well, can anybody offer the inverse to that? I mean, what do you call it? Droves of young people going to church, having, their fantasies fulfilled there of how reality works. I believe I see that all the time.
No, they want to have sex and they're
still gonna have sex.
They don't want to
like claim they're Christians. They're still gonna claim they're believers.
No, it's in 10 years, 10 to 20 years, people, Christian, nobody would dare say that they were Christian in public, especially in high school.
Everybody
Shame.
go along with that, or is there any alternative views?
The stats I've been watching are very encouraging.
Well, okay. Well, let's say that Christianity is dying out. Is that fair enough?
It does appear to be, yes.
Okay. So when a Christian cannot present their proper argument in a Nadia hangout, that just makes sense to us, right? It's dying off. So the Christian cannot present their argument well for a dying premise. But the atheists who can't do the same, we sort of like in our atheist community look at askew, askance, that maybe this person should have had a brain and a basis to their atheism before they fail to a Christian. Anyone?
Well, I get that a lot of time. A lot of the
I don't really care.
Today. Who's
Is
that guy?
it about?
Shamus.
Is this debate class? I mean, are we having like debate team here?
No.
Is it just about the argument?
No, it's called television.
Exactly, it's not.
No,
a
it's
50-50
about
thing.
learning from people. That's what it's
No,
about.
excuse me.
I like to characterize this television
there's-
show.
There are different motivations for different groups of people here. Some people literally come here to learn and have good discussions. Some people come here to just pump out their beliefs. Some people come out here just to discredit another's belief. So it's different between who you talk to.
I do it for entertainment.
Okay, tell us more. Like ratings entertainment or just self-pleasure entertainment?
I do
Like,
it for all the reasons stated.
I do it for none of the reasons I mentioned earlier. I do it for evangelism.
Okay, how popular is G-Man? Wildly?
Not
no,
really.
Well,
I
what
stay
do you mean
right
by
away
popular? Do you
Yeah,
mean by...
depends.
That's
Like
a very
what,
good
in the
point, Seamus.
community
I mean,
or
I'd say he's
relative to
very
me.
unpopular.
No, if you're talking about popularity in terms of views, he's very popular. If you
Okay,
want to
there you
talk
go.
popularity
don't
in
know.
terms of
To me,
consensus among your contemporaries, he might not be the most popular.
I know,
All
but
right.
to me,
I can't watch
he's
him.
very unpopular because I never, ever watch him or listen to him or go anywhere near. I know nothing about him other than he's an unpopular guy with me.
I find him so distasteful that I'm unable to watch him.
Right. Okay,
Exactly. I stay
who's
right
the
away.
hottest
Okay.
theist on YouTube? In our,
A hottest theist?
who's the heaviest hitter theist?
Oh,
There isn't a single one.
There isn't one.
probably
There isn't
me.
a single one.
I don't
Good
think
luck
any of
finding
them
her.
have any converts doing what they're doing.
Well, G-Man ran cam.
No.
Oh, come on. Nobody has any.
Bullshit.
Those guys don't have any
Probably-
converts. Come on.
Well, I'm not
Oh.
talking converts, guys. I'm talking
Feckle, probably.
ratings. I'm
Probably
talking
Feckle.
ratings
Oh.
and subs.
It's entertainment. It's all it is. It's why people watch it. It's
Very
so fun to
bad
watch.
entertainment.
No, I would say it's probably Veckel or somebody like that. It's not any of the priests.
There isn't a single one, I would say.
Well, who's the closest approximation? Let's pick one, please.
No.
Okay, put it this way: who do you watch the most? Right? Is that what you're
Out
asking?
of those guys, yeah. Who do you watch the most? Who
None.
can?
Man.
G-Man.
Neither, neither, nothing, no.
Well, okay.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
I
How
watch
about an
Nadia's
anti-
Hangouts the most because
okay. Well, that's what I was going to offer fiction. How about an anti-hero like Nadia? But she protects theists, so we could pretty much call her a theist.
She doesn't protect these. She protects
No, you can't
atheists,
really
too.
call her a theist because she
She
doesn't believe in
absolutely
fucking
does
God.
not.
Well,
protect
in the what do you call it? The realm of ratings, Recklin, I can call her a theist. I don't,
She
not in belief, but in the
I
realm
watch
of.
her because of all the theists that show
Listen,
up. I'm not saying
she
she's,
doesn't always.
but because she attracts them.
She
doesn't
would rather
always-
have theists in her room than.
There you go, Sid.
Listen,
Thank you.
She doesn't always defend theists, though. She defends atheists a lot too. I mean, she seems to defend rationality and logic, and or at least bad arguments. So whenever she's defending Christians, she's just defending them versus shit argument. But the time she's not defending a Christian, she's actually.
I can't understand what she says. I don't know about anyone else. I just
Yes.
can't understand what she says.
That's my big problem with her is that I can't understand what she's saying.
Well, the
probably
extra.
only
I have a
about-
hard time with it too.
There's probably only about 5, 6, 7, 8 people that you count on two hands in this community that are actually on the intellectual level to understand Nadia, and I am not one of them.
Okay.
Well, no, I think it's just because of mumbling, though. Like,
She's
yeah.
she's the
I
real
would
deal.
say it's like enunciation. That's my issue.
Right. Just extrapolations that go on.
I'm
Okay,
saying
but
what
anyway,
she
that's
says
Nadia.
it isn't difficult to understand what she says if we could hear it clearly enough, and if she would enunciate the words better.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Well, there's all sorts of levels to enjoy Nadia. Okay, I just love the delivery. It's not like I even understand anything she's saying. I just love the way she trickles out there for like minutes on end, and nobody says shit while she just talks, right? I mean, it's like she makes no sense whatsoever, and then 5 minutes later, she's still making no sense, and people don't say shit, right? I mean, it's
Because we're
wonderful.
listening. We're all just listening.
You
It
know
don't
what?
make a little sense this. Come on. I got little bits here and there, but
The worst part about it is the worst part about it, and the whole sick part about this is she's making perfect sense, and none of us are smart enough to understand her.
Okay, yes, right, Seamus.
True. I actually went back. Listen, when I first came to G+, I thought she was full of shit. I really did. For like a week and a half, I would join all of her hangouts, and I would just ignore everything she said because I really felt she was bullshitting. And then one night, I went back, right, and I just decided to watch this hangout that I had a lot of... Listen.
This is like playing a record backwards. Yeah,
So
okay.
I started. Hold on, y'all are gonna laugh your ass off. So I started listening to Nadia, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fact check her right now. So I started googling shit that she said, everything checked out 100%. That girl is on the money.
Yeah, she's very intelligent.
It
yeah.
fucking
I
scared
appreciate
me.
that about her.
Everything she said was perfectly on the point. I was like, oh my god.
Do you know what I wish? I wish I had as much Mountain Dew as Nadia.
Yeah, no shit, man. Oh my god. Okay.
I wish I had as much Crown Royal as she has Mountain Dew.
You know,
Oh,
I don't know why people get mad at atheists who defend theists when they're making a good argument.
Okay. So
Theists have. Are you saying that theists have good arguments?
Not convincing arguments, but sound arguments.
Well, from my point of view, the Bible is bullshit and religion is bullshit.
Well,
being
the
an
Bible's
atheist.
a historical
So
document.
how could there
It
be a
just makes
good?
some
How could there be a
serious
good
claims
argument
that are not.
for something that isn't true?
Let me explain,
That's a
Jimmy.
little confusing
Well,
to me.
there's good arguments for Bigfoot that are sound, right?
Well,
Okay.
It doesn't mean that
All
Bigfoot
right.
actually exists.
Okay.
no, he
all right,
just-
so you like
That's
to
where
I
you're gonna
don't
take
believe in
it.
Bigfoot.
Right.
There are good arguments.
Well, you know what? That I'd rather stay in the realm of reality. If we're going to talk, come on,
I think it has
Well,
to do
that's
with
just the thing,
logical.
Jenny. Okay.
kick it up a notch.
Well, Recklin has a point there, Jenny. It's sort of like, we sit in the realm of reality, and if they can bring a cogent argument of bullshit, it's incumbent upon us to know
To
the
believe
basis. No, not to believe it, of course not, but to counter it, to have the counter apologetics for.
No,
for
I'm.
argument.
It's all bullshit. I don't need to do anything. It's bullshit.
Well,
and that and
if you
to
think it's
you may say
You
that,
cannot-
Jenny, but
you
your
cannot give it
audience
that-
doesn't
you
necessarily
can't give
know
it
it.
the respect that of treating it as if it's a real thing. To argue as if it's not real. Why are
Okay.
I
It is
don't
not
treat the
real.
beliefs with respect.
Yeah,
I treat the
just,
people with
just hammering
respect.
away on it like it's a real thing, and it's not.
Jenny,
Okay.
I don't treat the
Well,
beliefs with
well
respect.
said, Jenny.
No,
Well
no.
said.
Let
No,
Recklin
no.
go.
I do not treat beliefs with respect. I treat the people I'm discussing things with respect, right?
Right.
It's nothing to do with the people. It's the bullshit. It's the bullshit mythology. That's the delusion. It's the delusion. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I
Mhm.
can get you.
And argue points like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
really.
I don't.
If
I don't
you
get
don't
it.
want to discuss it, you don't have to.
I don't.
Don't discuss it.
I don't, and I don't want to. I don't. discuss it.
Well, the thing
But
is that
sometimes you get dragged into a
then
discussion
I don't.
about
I
it.
don't discuss Harry Potter either. Or Winnie the Pooh.
but listen, we also have to think about the audience too. I mean, the audience needs to know if it is Harry Potter or not.
Or Santa Claus.
So we need to explain why it is Harry Potter or
Who
Santa.
still believes in Santa Claus?
Then why do we need to go beyond Genesis? Why is you can dismantle that bitch in the first 5 pages, and if it's errant, then the whole thing is moot.
Right.
No, wait.
Exactly.
The
God
skill
has,
of
God
the
has
ancient.
revealed to me.
Hold on, there's a big distinction here that just got walked over. There's a
All right.
distinction between inerrancy and literal and allegorical interpretation of Genesis. For example,
Jesus fucking
Oh,
Christ.
come on.
hold on.
Word salad. Word
Let me
salad.
explain.
Yeah,
the fuck up.
explain that.
Yeah, you gotta let me explain.
Can you
Okay.
do it in tongues? Let's do it in tongues.
Ask an athist. Ask an atheist. That wasn't word salad.
Yeah, that.
Read
yeah.
a dictionary, please.
What's bullshit?
Defend that bitch. Come on.
Who's trying to pick a
Come
fight
on.
with me? Someone's
Ride
trying to pick
that
a fight
pony
with me.
out.
Who said that?
This is about as like cogent
Probably
as trying to
Recklin.
have a talk at a bar after 10 drinks with some people. This is just, it's turned into retardedness.
Well, it is Christmas Eve and drinks are
Well,
on the house.
Yeah, it is Christmas Eve.
When I go to the bar, believe me, I do not talk religion.
Shame
Well,
on us.
Shamus is walking in here saying, guess what? God's real. Now.
No, I mean, I was just trying to
Okay,
refute.
now let's move one step forward.
Cheers, everybody. Happy Happy Christmas Eve.
Jenny made a category error, and I just wanted to clear
Not New
that
Year's
up.
yet.
A category error saying that I don't believe it?
No, you're saying your category error is saying that all Christians must believe Genesis is literal, and therefore you can prove that if Genesis isn't told to be literal, you can dismantle the Bible. But that's a category error because not all Christians believe Genesis is literal. There's some.
No, they cherry picked the Bible, right?
That's
They
not.
don't believe the book.
Very
Okay,
You're a
well,
dumbass.
Now you,
I'm sorry, Fiction. That's a stupid thing to
maybe
say.
I need to let you know something. I was raised an atheist. I did not even see the Bible until I was 18. I read the first 5 pages and I was like bullshit. So I'm not like a convert. So you know, I, either they're Christians but they don't believe the book is what you're telling me?
No, they don't believe in the literal nature of Genesis. They believe it is allegory.
Okay.
So, listen, you can still believe the Bible to be divinely inspired and inerrant, just that the Genesis was conveyed as allegory, not literal. It doesn't speak on...
Yeah, that sounds like religion to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
It
just...
is.
Yeah, that's...
Magic.
Yeah, I'm not...
Okay.
See, what happens is atheists would like for all Christians...
Tell me what happens.
Atheists would like for all Christians to take Genesis literal, because if they do...
You know what? I wouldn't like you to do anything. I just find it's not true. I don't believe it.
You don't seem very happy when Christians don't take Genesis
you know,
literal.
I know what you're saying, Jenny. You're saying that he's wrong because you're right, right?
No. I'm saying you can do whatever you want. It's just
listen. You don't seem very happy when a Christian...
Actually, I back Jenny up. She is right.
Yeah,
well,
I back her up
cool.
too.
It doesn't matter
I
who's
don't
right or
believe
who's
it.
wrong.
I don't pretend that I do. I don't respect it. I don't pretend that I do. I disrespect it. I find that I ridicule it. And I'm not gonna, you know, it's bullshit. I'm gonna call it bullshit, and that's what's gonna happen.
Well, okay.
I'm a militant atheist.
Okay.
Bullshit. It's a waste of time because without it,
Thank you.
Please allow me to straighten out the arena here for 10 seconds. Okay. What we're talking about is the arena and what weapons you bring into it, correct?
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. So, do atheists look down upon an atheist who walks in there with a pea shooter against theists who are armed with swords? You know what I mean?
No. That's an individual. That's an individual question.
Okay, G-Man is in there, you know, expounding about Noah's Ark, and I walk in there, you know, as the atheist representation. And I haven't been drinking that long, guy. This is my first drink. Okay, I'm the atheist representative, and I make a total fucking fool out of myself.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Finding an argument from a theist that actually can go against an atheist in the form of a sword against a dagger is a joke. I mean, like, finding that argument would be a colossal task in itself.
Well,
I mean,
there's a few of them already.
Refute the modal ontological argument.
Yeah, refute the Kalam. Refute the
Oh God, the Kalam, really? The Kalam? Really? The Kalam? Seriously? Like William Lane Craig over here? Seriously? Come on.
Look, the
and
Kalam,
when you guys are all done with this, are you going to take on the Quran?
No, the responses to the Kalam are not definite, and there's counter rebuttals to those responses. And what it really turns out to...
You know what, Shemus, the responses to the Kalam prove that the God of Islam is the one true God, and that Jesus Christ is dead and buried and gone, null and void. If you really want to look at the Kalam.
Well, you know, in a thousand years, when you've won this argument, then you can take on the
Kalam.
No,
the Kalam points to the God of Islam.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, guys.
Listen,
Tell me something. Tell me something.
What
God believer ever has gotten I
need to clear up some of these inconsistencies, or you guys are going to seem really...
All right. Well, we'll go Seamus and we'll go Fiction. Okay, but I just want to offer this. Okay, we're going along with this role play I'm doing. Okay, G-Man presents his most, idiotic Kalam argument. I go in there and I make a total fucking fool where the whole audience thinks like, oh yeah, G-Man's right about Kalam, obviously. Would not the atheist community hate my guts immediately for being...
How can that happen? I can't
imagine. God, no.
I don't care.
No.
What would that look like?
Well, like, let's say that he says that everything has to have a cause, right? And then I go, well, maybe. You know what I mean? And then it's like the whole atheist community looks at me like, what don't you know shit, Bunto?
Bullshit. No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, why doesn't it work that way, Sid?
Because there's not an atheist community. If you go in there and you give a bad argument, you've just given a bad argument. That doesn't change any of the facts. It doesn't make God all of a sudden.
It doesn't make God real.
Can I say something before
No
we
one
get
is
too
claiming
Just
that.
make
sidetracked
sure you're a
here?
dumb atheist.
There's a few
Okay,
things
okay,
that.
okay. I got a question
Oh,
for
the
all
three
you
of you are
believers.
dumb atheists.
No,
All right,
no,
hold on a second. Okay, let's go. Okay, please,
Can
please.
I say
Okay,
my opinion real
please.
quick? Can I say my opinion real
You
quick?
need to answer this question right now.
Fiction,
What
stop
God
yelling
believer has
over
ever
people.
collected the
Oh.
Nobel Peace Prize for discovering God?
Oh,
Why should anyone accept any deity?
okay,
All right,
okay.
so
Tired
can I
of
give
it.
an example? I'll give you
All
an
right.
example of something that happened today, right? We're having this really intelligent discussion, theists and atheists, about precept. And this guy, I forgot what his name was. What's his name? Neo something.
Yes,
He came
okay.
in the room and he started asking us really idiotic questions, arguing from a theistic perspective, arguing about, debating about whether a god exists. And both theists and atheists
Fuck
were
you,
blocking
Seamus, for
him.
muting me.
Please fix it. Okay,
Both-
everybody,
Fuck
please,
you.
Both
everybody,
theists
please,
and
let's,
Fuck
atheists
you.
were blocking this guy.
Freedom of
please.
speech, man.
So both theists and atheists were blocking this guy who was making absolutely silly arguments like, "Where do you get your fingerprints from?" You know,
Right.
and so both atheists and theists were blocking him. So it's not something like, "Oh, that guy represents all of the theist community." No, he's just a fucking idiot. You know. So that's pretty much my 2 cents.
Very good. Okay, listen, let's go fiction and then Seamus. Okay, fiction, please.
Oh, do I
10 to 15
finally get
seconds.
to ask my question now?
Yes, you do. Go
Oh,
ahead, dear.
thank you very much. Yeah, the reason why I speak over people is because when it gets like a clusterfuck, then I don't get a word in edgewise, and I don't get a turn. This is what happens typically in
Every
a hangout
time.
like this. Every time. And Jenny's seen it happen.
Yep.
So, I got a question for all the theists in here, and I mean weak atheists as well. What God believer has ever collected the Nobel Peace Prize for discovering God, and why should anyone accept any deity if their Peace
Oh
Prize
my
has not been
God.
collected?
Fine,
There you go.
Seamus.
Wow, that's a brilliant question. I love it.
Wow, that's.
Thank you, Sid.
Okay, please let
No,
Seamus talk.
thank you.
Seamus.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge what she
I
just
can't
said.
wait.
That is
I'm just.
absolutely
Well, that's your
ridiculous.
Because you
choice.
have no answer.
Guys,
No, no, no.
okay, guys, please let Seamus speak. It's his turn. Seamus, please speak.
I'm not even going to acknowledge what fiction said because that's a loaded question, just ridiculous. But I do want to address something Sydney said earlier. He said that the Kalam actually points to the Islamic God. That's untrue. The Kalam was pioneered by Islamic theologians, right? But it's only it's only an argument to get to theism, right? It's not an argument meant to get to the Islamic God or the Christian God. It's an argument meant to get to theism. So just because it was pioneered by Islamic theologians and scholars, please, I'm leaving. This is fucking joke.
Seamus,
No.
I'm opening
You
a
can't
hangout.
answer
I'll
a
invite
question
you.
honestly. You can't answer a question honestly, so we have no use for you here.
Well, guys, please help me, keep the equilibrium of my hangouts. So
Slam dunk! Slam dunk! Woohoo!
we're
Well,
trying to.
if you read the chat on the side, I'm not sorry to see any of them go. Either of them go.
Okay, well, let's
Came
say
here
this
to
is.
just kibosh your hangout, Bunto.
Well, don't worry. Well, this is
On the
it.
one night when we're all supposed to get along, they
Here's
come
a
in.
fucking
What?
prince.
Well,
Yeah.
let me say this. I just play with the cards that are dealt with me. Okay, so
That's
look,
fine.
let's carry on this
by the
conversation.
way,
But listen to me,
weekend-
please let me finish.
Sorry, Bunto.
Okay.
Sorry.
I've offered that an atheist makes their fool out of himself in front of G-Man. So no other atheist would, tell that atheist boy, please don't do stupid, foolish things like that in front of
Shut the
G-Man.
fuck up and stay out of the hang.
You
Oh, that's
drove
what
me
they
to
say.
fucking drink, you guys.
No,
That's what they'd say to abandon the hangout.
In the morning, you drove me to
No,
fucking drink.
Another atheist steps in and makes the argument.
Okay, so that's what happened.
Send in your heavy hitter next time. Keep the lightweights out of the hang.
Well, Jenny, didn't you say that you only stay for a certain amount of time before you chicken out and flee?
I don't debate it. I don't lend that credence. I'm not going to argue about something I
It's
don't
true.
believe.
There's no point
That seems
talking-
ridiculous to me. I'm not doing it.
What is the point to atheism if nobody can hear it? If a tree falls in the forest and it
I'll tell you what. I
makes
managed to
sound,
do
who
it for
hears
40
it?
years without anyone here. You know what? I have
Well,
other things.
okay, this is
I have
what
other
I hear,
things I do.
Jenny. Me. Can't you understand that? That's what Recklin's point was about.
I
You are right
am
and
a
I'm
member
wrong.
of the secular American. I
Oswald.
spend hours and hours of my time writing governmental letters. I contribute. I go to meetups. I do statistical studies, and I watch am into the political end of it. I'm looking.
And that's why you leave the hangout.
Leave the hangout.
You can't present any of those points of views, right? Because you just say, "Oh, the argument that they're presenting is nonsensical. I don't have to stand for that, so I leave."
You know what? If I don't enjoy it, I don't have to stay, do I?
Come on, Jenny, you're enjoying this, aren't you? Come on.
if I'm not enjoying it, you're telling me I got to stay?
And
Well,
Bunto,
what is the
I'm a grown woman. If I decide I want to go, I'll go, and I don't ask and I don't apologize.
This clusterfuck. Bunto, you gotta give us some time to talk shit.
Go ahead.
I mean, the whole reason we started this, me and Jenny, okay, since I've been coming on Google Hangouts, it's been very hard to connect with other women.
Why?
And we seem to be more outspoken than most women are.
And we have heard your point of view. We have heard them.
Yes, we've heard all the bullshit. We've heard all the bullshit 100 times over. Now we want to play. Now
you want to play.
Yes,
Okay.
we want to play
or just talk. Just talk.
Yeah.
Without
being interrupted,
no,
without being
okay,
crazy, without being called.
Can I
What?
interject here for a
Please.
second?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. You guys weren't really carrying on in what I'd call an intellectual conversation about the issue, but that's not important.
It wasn't intended to be that.
I think what you kind of successfully got rid of Shamos because what you wanted to do.
This is what happened. Well, I thought we were going to do this with women.
We were trying to have fun.
Oh, the gender binary.
He wanted to preach at us.
Exactly, and I don't like people.
Exactly. I don't want to be
He'll
preached
pretend
either.
that he wants to actually have a conversation with you about evidence and facts.
But we don't want to discuss his
Then he'll
bullshit.
switch
He
to
was
preaching.
talking religion.
His evidence is, it comes
He
from a
wants
fucking
to preach
scripture.
the gospel. He wants to preach the gospel. That's his mission. That's his reason for living, if you will.
Exactly. He doesn't want to have a real discussion. He doesn't want to have a real discussion about
Right.
facts.
But guys,
Do we always have to discuss religion for Christ's sake? Why don't we discuss atheism for Christ's sake?
why do we have to discuss
Do we have
religion
anything else to
How
talk
about
about?
life in general? Yes, like what's going on in the
or
world? What's
atheism?
going on in your life? Like,
Are you?
Is
how about
Is there
because-
anything else to talk about? Can we have a
I'm
normal
very
conversation?
drinking now. Fuck, I wasn't gonna drink tonight, but god damn it.
Okay, please, ladies. The reason that we do
You call me a
discuss
fucking
religion
lady.
or atheism,
Bitch! Bitch is all control of herself.
listen, the reason that we discuss
We're bitches.
religion or atheism is because there's an audience. All right, guys, can you understand that?
Hope you're
So we're
enjoying
like
it.
playing to the audience
Yeah, but
with
you came
our
up with that
views.
scenario.
No, that's not a show.
How come
This
you?
is not a fucking
you
show.
know,
It's not a circus show. Come on
You
now.
invented that scenario. I wanted a different scenario.
All right, listen.
You got too serious.
What is okay? Listen to me. What is the duty of an atheist, Sid? What's the duty of an atheist?
Have fun, drink as much alcohol as possible, and have sex with as many women as possible. And
Do you have to
party
refute?
as much as
Yes,
possible?
yes,
and
yes,
don't
yes.
sleep until you're dead.
Do you have to
Yes.
refute theism? Is that
I
the
love his
duty of an atheist?
philosophy. Fun, fun, fun.
That's
No,
a
fuck all that.
I have an answer for that.
Okay, Jenny, please.
What is the?
I
Okay,
think
hold on.
I think
Can I just-
the duty of an atheism is an individual matter. Personally, I believe that socially that to be socially responsible to a certain amount of activism is something that I believe that I should do, and I do put in my time and some of my money to contribute to atheism because I believe that it's for the betterment of society and the better of my country. I also do some writing, and I'm the owner of part owner of a fairly large atheist community online. I do a lot of don't I? Yeah, I do a lot of. But
I'm not going to-
but
I'm not
I don't
going
think
to
that it's
say that.
necessary that everybody needs to argue with theists because as a someone that came very late. I didn't even know Christians until I came to YouTube, and there would have been no point in my life that it would have been reasonable to read the Bible. So the idea of at this point in my life studying the Bible to argue with theists is just utterly ridiculous, and I am not going to do it.
Okay, I need some advice
I'm not
here.
going
I need
to-
some advice.
I'm not going to patronize you, Fiction Fighter, with posting the link to this article that Shamos posted in the external chat.
Oh.
He thinks that you asked him a loaded question.
Oh, they all say that. They always say that when I ask a question. When I ask a well thought out question,
That was
they
a
always
very
say
good
that.
question.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
so
beautiful
too.
question.
No.
I've never heard one like that before, ever. It was
Thank
brilliant.
you, Sid. Thank you. I thought it made sense to me.
Yeah, does to me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should. It should make sense. I mean, shit.
Do any of you guys?
Let's discuss. What is the Nobel Peace Prize for? What is it for? Does anybody know?
This is an award for outstanding scientific
for-
contributions.
Yes, for
to,
making
to,
contributions
to society or the world, to
Wait,
you know,
no,
to,
what?
to
the
the betterment of
One
humanity,
at a time. One at a time, please.
for the
One
betterment
at
of
a time.
humanity.
I go, Jen.
Okay. And Sid?
for the advancement of the comfort of humanity.
And Acius?
As far as I can tell, it's for being awesome. in
Yeah.
some way,
Yeah.
according
Yeah.
to someone.
too.
So
Did you hear what all those answers entail? It's about humanity. What
The
is
betterment of
better
humanity.
for humanity? And you know what? Obviously, God's not on the list yet.
Right.
So stop
Yeah.
acting like he is until that
Okay.
day comes. Why should anyone even take that into any serious consideration that one exists? Correct?
Okay.
Well, the
Okay.
the Pinocchio effect still has to come into existence with God. You see, God's just a concept, right?
Right.
And Pinocchio was just a puppet. But when Pinocchio became alive, there was proof that Pinocchio could do shit like a human or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
God's got the same option.
And this is
Okay.
why I fight fiction.
What's all that?
This is
Am I
why
hearing
I
yours?
fight it so much.
Okay, my turn, guys. Okay, let me offer this to you. Attractiveness, okay? How attractive does an atheist have to be to his audience? I mean, you have
You
to
attract
sympathize.
with thoughts in your mind.
Skirts.
The mind is what matters the most.
Okay.
That's what attracts me to a person is how intelligent you are, how rational you are, and how you can put quality questions together that actually have answers that make sense.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, she said it.
Okay, well,
I'm
okay,
not
explain.
arguing with the females.
Okay, explain G-Man. Is he an attractive Christian to other
No.
Christians?
No.
No, he's entertainment quality.
He's a
Vile.
circus act.
He's vile and
He's
He's
the
as
court
cute as a
jester
monkey.
of Christians.
He's as cute as a monkey.
Oh, that'll get you in trouble.
His demeanor is repulsive. I cannot watch him. He actually is repulsive.
Then he's
Yeah, he
attracted
is.
to atheists.
I find him obnoxious and
Is
He's like a
G-Man
better
attracted to atheists?
He like to think of himself as though.
I mean, like he is a good stereotype for. I mean, stereotype. Okay, let's dispel anything about race. Okay, he's a great guy, but
Yeah,
he's
funny.
a great.
What?
No, he isn't.
He's a
Great.
great guy.
Not a
I find him
stereotype
funny.
of
An arrogant narcissist.
mindless Christian, right?
I'm
Is he
not
the
racist,
great-
bud.
He is
He's
an
funny
arrogant
in a
ass.
nauseous way. In a nauseous
Well,
way.
okay, listen. Did he not bring up when he flipped to atheist that he was going to call himself Chaco A?
Oh, that was all fake. See, that was fake. There you go.
I mean,
Fake
okay,
news.
listen, that's why I bring up the racism thing, okay? So we'll just spell it right out of hand. But listen to me. Is he not a perfect stereotype of the mindless Christian?
Yes.
Okay, is
If
that
he's
not appealing to
honestly
the
as
atheist?
crazy as he portrays himself to be, I would say yes.
They're all the same, though. That's the thing. There's no one that stands out from the other. Except
He's
for
worse. He's the
performance.
worst. He's really bad. And that Rand guy. Oh, he's
Rangam.
he's really.
You got Rand, you got Jim Barber.
Oh man.
But I know why Rangam is
Breaking.
attractive.
He's a
Yeah,
salesman.
Breaking.
He's
That's a terrible
salesman.
one, too.
That's why.
But I will tell you why Rancam is attractive to theists because he goes right after the nads of atheists. That's why he's attractive.
I don't have it on my chest,
He
maybe.
does.
But
He does.
But that's why the wrestling. He's like the pro wrestler of Christians. That's why they love him.
Well, exactly. They were interviewing some guy today on one of their podcasts that claimed to be Lucifer for like an hour and a half. Him and Brett Keane going back and forth with some guy who claimed to be the devil with an actual interview. I mean, you can look it up. It's insane. It's like,
I
why
put
are you guys
Lucifer in my
entertaining such
hangouts.
It's like a
That's-
slideshow for the brain.
Okay.
Intellectual train wreck.
So
hi, Gary.
I know I'm looking at what Gary's doing. That's a pillow, okay, or a blanket or
No, that's
something.
his dog. He's playing with dog.
Is his dog? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
None
So
couldn't
listen,
argue with Droog.
we're talking about attractiveness. Okay. Should an atheist be really attractive? Let's say that Ozymandias guy. Do you think he's in any way attractive to atheists? You know, the Ozymandias Rex
Ozzy?
philosophy guy.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
Ozzy.
I can't
Okay. Well, why is
understand
he
him.
attractive? Why is he attractive?
He's too smart for me. I don't understand him.
He's an intellectual guy, and he lays out his.
Being a worthwhile, and two things that make a human being worthwhile is intellect or wisdom.
Okay. So he has a sound wisdom.
He does. And when you ask him a question, he lays out his arguments fully, and he doesn't bullshit. He takes his time, and he will answer every question that you have.
Okay, so you like the solidity of his exposition and arguments. That's attractive to you guys.
Yeah.
If
That's
Bunto,
what I'm looking for. If you're looking for truth, if you're looking for answers.
Bunto, I think you should talk to that guy, the Batman cup there, Mr. Green.
Okay, Mr. Green, give us your
Direct the
take.
question to him.
What's the question?
Okay, attractiveness. Ozzy, why he is attractive because of his solidity of his argument and his exposition.
Well, intelligence does make you attractive, regardless.
Nice answer.
Okay, can he talk to everybody, Ozymandias, or can he only talk to a certain level of intellect?
With Ozzy, maybe a particular group.
Okay, is it better to have a wider spectrum of people you can connect with, people who really don't understand philosophy, or we just have to live with the fact that he can only speak to one level of atheists?
Diversity in thought, diversity in everything, I say.
Yeah, because he's not always speaking
Wait,
at one
Gary,
level
wait.
of atheists.
I want to hear
Okay,
Green's
well-
answer. What's Green's answer to that? I want to hear it.
There are certain comedians that are very intellectual that actually reach a general audience.
All right.
Think about Bill Hicks and George Carlin, that could be very general, but just very. They're great thinkers, I believe.
I think I like that answer because you know what? I was going to say, if you're truly intelligent, you should be able to talk to a broad range of humanity.
Nobody
So
can see any
from anywhere
problem.
from low IQ to high IQ, you should be able to communicate with all of them.
Fair enough, but nobody can see any problem with Ozymandias in his level of intellect. What he talks about, that people
Yeah, it's all
might
about
get
him.
lost.
It's all about him being able to relate to all different levels, though. See?
Like, who slams the precept argument the best? Tell me, is it him or other people?
Everybody.
I don't think he slams anything. He exposes the fallacies and the problems within the arguments.
You know who did an incredible slam of the precept argument that I really thought was awesome? Who's that guy who does all the cartoons? The really hard-ass cartoons, man.
Dark
he
Matter?
did-
Dark Matter 2525?
No, the other, even harder than him. You know what I'm talking about? He does like a grizzly. He's like really risque. I mean, he's perfect. He did G-Man.
Titan Atheist.
Yes,
That's
Slides
like
an
that.
Atheist. He has done the best slam of the precept I've ever seen. You ever seen that one?
I've seen some of his stuff, yeah, but I when it comes to enemies like that, I like Dark Matter. He's great.
So what do you think of like somebody on the level of Saitan, please? Anybody? Do you think it's like too risque for a general audience, or do you think it's just perfect?
Nothing's too risque. Nothing is. If it's expressing something that can relate to everybody, nothing's risque.
So is he a general entertainer?
If there's an off button, then nothing is risque.
Exactly.
Okay, I agree with that too. Well,
I'm a skeptic.
who's more popular, Dark Matter 2525 or Saitan?
I say Dark Matter.
Why?
It's a
Hands
dark
down.
matter as well.
Yeah.
He can
But
be.
then I haven't seen Sight. I haven't seen
Dark
Sight
matter's been around the
himself.
longest, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's longevity.
Yeah.
And I like
Okay,
Jeffrey.
And he's the
well,
most creative, I think.
who is on a more general level to the audience? Dark matter or Ozymandias?
Dark matter.
Okay, so he's more attractive.
I can see kids getting his stuff, you know.
That doesn't matter, though. A lot of people can't keep up with what Ozzy's talking about. Ozzy, sometimes a lot of what he's discussing, you have to look up and research beforehand to
True.
understand some of the fallacies and some of the discussions that he's already, discussing within his, within the discussion within his video. You know what I mean, or whatever he's discussing the first hand. So a lot of research, because he's not very much of a generalist. He's always making videos about something else.
Okay, so let's say this. As far as depth, Ozymandias is a great representation of depth for the atheist community. You know, if you want a solid depth of argument, you can go right for Ozymandias.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him before. I'm out of my depth.
Ozzy, you never heard of Ozzy? He's a lot of hangouts. He does a lot of discussions.
Well, let me say this, Gary. What do you think about the concept of walking halfway into their madness, of trying to see eye to eye with a theist on some level? I know Jenny is completely opposed to this.
Okay. The need for ethics in society. I can see the theist's point of view up to a point, like, say, with censorship.
All right.
TV, I pretty much gave up on. It's badly written 99% of the time. But I would rather have everything turned to a 24-hour porn channel before I let religious folks take over censorship of the TV.
Very
because
good.
by the time they're done, by the time they would be done, even the Disney Channel would be unrecognizable.
True. Okay, well let me put. Okay, sorry to interrupt, Gary. Let me put this forward. Okay, we're sitting in a room with Nadia and they're 10 theists, right? And they're talking about. Well, let's say this. We're at one of those NCG videos that they do. You know, the New Covenant group, and they're talking with a theist, and they're like going on for about 10 minutes talking about theology, when you, in the first 10 seconds, could have just said, hey, there is no God, so don't fucking worry about it, right? So what's the point of going halfway into their madness, halfway into theology?
I always try to approach subjects from the point of view that I could be wrong.
Okay.
I don't think I am.
So just, everything points that there being no God. They're talking about God, and in the first 10 seconds, you're not going to offer the observation that there's no proof to no God. Because you want to say, hey, I could be wrong. You're going to bank on could, maybe, perhaps, maybe later on we'll invent a God. That's what you want to bank on.
No, I want to bank on being polite.
Oh, so now you want to be polite. Scientists want to be polite about telling them that that's
nonsense. When you have an axe to grind, it turns people off. If you could draw them in, if you get them to at least be obligated, feel obligated to listen to you, and then you give your point after you hear theirs, you can make an impact, positive impact. If you just blurt out you're a fucking idiot for believing in God, who's going to listen to you?
Chris, you obviously need to hang out.
I am not.
Wait, Jenny needs to know. She's muted herself.
You have to
good argument.
No wonder it got so quiet.
Okay, but listen. Okay, we have to be polite and go halfway into the madness.
Yes.
No.
In order to be attractive.
No.
You can be polite without going halfway into the madness. You can simply say, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's true. It's an honest. Why say that I could be wrong. I'm not going to. First of all, that would be a lie, and then also, you're going to weaken your argument from the very get-go by saying I could be wrong.
I like that.
Exactly.
Good point, Jay.
No, you can't do that. You can't admit to the impossible.
True.
Just for no, you can't do that.
No, I meant true. I agree with you. That's
You reveal yourself as being insincere from the very beginning if you do that.
That's absolutely right, Jenny. I agree with you 100%. Gary left, so went to go play with his dog. Okay,
he's still there. He's still there.
Wait, can we try and get Rose in? Because she's really funny.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
She says like crazy shit. Don't worry.
Yeah. So whoever's not talking, boot your ass out.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, Green.
I enjoy to stay.
Oh, Green, you gotta leave.
Peace out, guys.
You should really talk out more. Hey, Merry Mythmas.
Merry Miss.
Okay. Okay, listen. Being polite is a nice thing, right? It's in order to communicate with the other person. To make them... I mean, we don't go right up to the person and completely crush their world with truth.
But Bunto, some occasions call for being indignant, okay? Sometimes respect has to go out the window.
What about being just assertive?
Okay.
But not aggressive.
Right.
Okay, that's
assertive is good. I like that word.
To state your case and have self-respect. You don't have to use profanity or call anyone names, but to say I do not believe that.
Fuck you, bitch.
Person say I find that to be ridiculous. That I don't believe in religion. I find it to be patently ridiculous. It's not insulting anybody, but it's also a solid stance.
But to any theist you ever say that to, they get mad.
It doesn't matter if they get mad. If they get mad because they don't like what I'm saying, let them get mad. Fucking
it's like a child having a temper tantrum.
Rage on.
They'll get over it. They'll have to find a way to get over it.
That is not going to change my position one bit. I mean, if you can throw yourself on the floor and throw a fit if you want to.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. Let's take the Christian example of somebody like Rancam. Rancam doesn't. I mean, he first squares up his victim before he hits him in the nuts, right? So should that be the same approach for an atheist to like help your atheist square him up before you assert that it's all bullshit?
What do you mean?
That's why do you want to that's kind of that undignified to me.
We're talking to the audience. The audience wants to
then remain dignified and professional.
Draw them in.
Go ahead.
First off, we're talking to each other.
But what do you mean? What do you mean he hits him in the nuts? What do you mean Rand hits anybody in the nuts?
Well, Rancam, he's a good wrestler. He's a good pro wrestler. He lets
I could beat him.
Person out into the arena before he slams them, before he accuses them of being.
I've never seen him physically beat anybody down.
No, please, fiction. We're talking figuratively. Can you get that through your head? Figuratively.
Yeah, well, I understand that completely, but like he never brings any good arguments to the table. He just talks a lot of shit. He's a city guy.
But
He's
Chris,
a city guy. No. He's a Yankee. He's real good at talking a lot of shit. Runs his mouth fantastically, and that doesn't bring anything to the table.
But Chris, it's pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling, Chris.
Bunto, do you respect the guy?
It doesn't matter. Pro wrestling all day long. If you don't have any facts.
But I mean, to the audience, Chris, is like, oh yeah, he smacked the hell out of that atheist.
He doesn't. I don't think he appeals to women.
Well, he doesn't appeal. He doesn't appeal to anybody of any intellect when he does that.
You're all prostitutes for atheism. You're all prostitutes for atheism.
True. But I mean, that was like a real. It got buzz, Acius. It got buzz for how many weeks? Yes, it gets buzz. Okay, can anybody deny that gets buzz for weeks? I mean, he does that shit and it gets play. He is on an upward trajectory.
But that doesn't mean there's any fact to it. That just means there's a lot of entertainment.
I agree, Chris. I agree, but I mean, it's like pro wrestling. It's not like you have to be a Rhodes Scholar to be a good pro wrestler. You just have to.
It's all an act. It's an act. Salesman.
But at the end of the day, what are you here for? Are you here just to hear Rand Campbell rant about his nonsense and his ignorance?
Okay, I'm going to answer that.
Man, are you here to learn?
To answer that honestly, I want to get the audience. I want to get the bigger audience, the bigger entertainment for my
Is
audience.
that what you're after? You're after a bigger audience, Bunto?
Oh, why not? I mean, I want to
We're not
spread the
here for
atheist
that.
message.
You
I
realize we're not
want
here
to
for that.
spread the atheist
We're here
message.
for honesty.
Then you need an actor. I mean, you're going to have to groom
Yeah.
somebody. You're gonna
Okay,
have
that's a
to
good
have to
point,
handle
Jenny.
somebody. We're going to
That's a
have
good
to
point.
try. You can
We're
find
not here
somebody
to
and trot
act.
them out. You know, you need a
True.
mouthpiece, somebody that's more professional. You know, somebody that's been groomed and trained
Yeah.
to be the face of atheism, if that's what you're looking for. You know,
I'll offer one. Aaron Raw. How about Aaron Raw? I
He's
mean,
he's a great guy. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
you know, I
Highly
think
intellectual
But I don't
speaker.
think
He
he's
just-
acting either. I don't think he's here to act either.
I think Forbidden Fruit is going to turn out to be.
Okay, forbidden fruit.
Is good. He's bringing some
He's
Well, I
on
like-
an almost
I like
epic-
bullshit.
I like him, but he's a little aggressive. And Aaron,
He's
Aaron, on
he's
the-
new. He's new. Let him
is-
get seasoned.
he
Let
is.
him get a little time under his belt.
He is, and he's a Texan. He's a Texan.
Lucy.
He's new. Give him a
But
little
see,
time.
okay, and Mike is a Texan. I'm a Texan, so I can see
And
the power.
in order to do what he does, you've got to have a big
cat.
ego. You can't have some meek little, someone that does not have that kind of self-confidence to perform in that. You want somebody that's got a big ego. He'll grow into himself, I think.
But I love his videos. I really like what he's doing.
He brings as an amount of intellect. I like the face that he, our PR is not good.
And Sarah,
I'm liking the face that he puts on the reasonable, that he puts a good face on it.
Okay,
And
well, let me
he
ask
is a
you.
little over exuberant,
Well, see,
but I have confidence that he will.
I don't think he's bringing any other. I don't think he's bringing any intellect we haven't seen before. I just think that he's. Hear me out here, man. I think Mike is bringing what we wanted and we've always wanted to see as atheists. Is a guy who doesn't fuck around. He doesn't. He doesn't play with anything.
Right.
He
Be
brings
straight.
the shit straightforward. And when he
Yep.
says something, he's going to tell you exactly what he's talking about, straightforward.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I
I
like about
appreciate.
it.
Okay, okay.
Straightforward.
And the
Quickly-
fact that he brought his wife, or his soon-to-be wife, Sarah, I think that's going to be key as well, because she's fresh out of the gate from being indoctrinated.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Okay,
I think
quickly,
she's
I
got
offer
experience
this, guys.
as well.
Okay.
Oh my God, Bunto! I wasn't
Okay.
fucking finished.
I know, but let me step in anyway.
No,
Okay,
no.
listen.
No,
Everybody's
no,
cutting each other.
no, I wasn't fucking finished.
Okay, but to
Bear in
okay,
mind, this is live.
listen, Forbidden has a wide spectrum, right? Wider than Ozymandias, correct? See what I mean? That's more attractive.
He can talk on a variety of subjects. I've talked to Mike quite a bit. I went over, I found him and drug him into the community.
But I don't think it's.
I'm looking for a candidate to run for the atheist party.
But see, I don't think Mike. I think Mike brings a more aggressive stance on it. A lot of us agree with that. Ozzy, when you listen to Ozzy is a very slow, articulate cat, and when he speaks to you, you have to listen because he's going to take a long time, and he's going to bring apart, and he's going to very much so discuss every part of the issue in very much an amazing and professional stance, almost like a teacher. So you can understand what you're talking about. But Mike,
think of our audience. We want snappy repartee. How many? We want to talk to Joe public.
Joe Lunch.
Well, it depends. It depends on the. It depends on the
females.
It depends.
What
It
my
depends on what they're looking for.
And there are a lot of women out there that vote, and we are vastly underrepresented. There's hardly any of women that speak out in the atheist community, but believe me that they're there, and they do have the vote, and they're going to be carrying some power. So to neglect that faction of our numbers is not.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Jenny. Where's the woman?
Pardon me.
Right here.
Where's the woman atheist?
Jenny.
Well, fiction. Where's? I mean,
we're up and coming. Trust me. That's why we have to take out.
Being in here with you guys is to we gotta have big brass balls that clank when we walk.
Okay.
You guys are not easy to be around, and you've been in the
silence
so long.
us.
You've been in the argument so long that without realizing it, you may have lost a little bit of your
respect,
your social
skills.
Yeah, so your social skills.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, girls.
You
let me
are
ask you this,
having a
girls.
conversation with most of you is like, you know,
Bunch of cats.
I'd almost rather take a bullet.
Okay, well, fine, girls. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, you see this environment that's just saturated with males, right?
It's
With
not
balls.
friendly to women, but
And it's not
No,
friendly to
not
women, right?
friendly at all.
no,
And
it
it's not. And it's not a fucking feminism thing either. Hey, I
Okay.
want to say something. Wait. No, shut up. Shut up.
you have to, you know, you get attacked a lot. I mean, you know, I have a PhD in cunt. You know,
Oh my
you know,
God,
I have a
that's
I
PhD.
take
perfect.
days without, it's like, you know, if I don't get called cunt every day, it's like a day without sunshine.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it.
Uh,
Um,
You know,
okay, what I'm trying to say is
nobody,
this,
you know,
girls.
nobody holds back on me. I mean, you know, it's like because I'm a woman. If you are not able to take that kind of fire, you know, if you're not, you know, then
Then you got shit to stand on.
you have
Okay,
to,
girls.
yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is this: is
It
okay.
takes a special kind of crazy to come in here.
Where's
Yeah.
the breakthrough? How is the
See
breakthrough
how
going to
full
come?
of brash I gotta be to get word in edgewise? Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, yeah, okay, fiction, but where's the breakthrough going to come through? I mean, you're going to just
So I have to
finally.
get bold and nasty sometimes just to be able to
Okay.
say something.
Okay, you go into Nadia's hangout tomorrow, and you just. How
I'll
are
be
you going to
working.
break?
Can't do it.
Well,
But
why
see,
can't you do
this
it?
is what I love. But these women are here is what I love. These women are outspoken. They're true. They're gonna understand what they're saying. I love Nadia, but I can't. I want to hear her pronunciate and get loud and get angry. And
Yeah.
she's so intelligent. Get down on that shit, girl.
You need
Come on, tell me
passion.
what's up.
You know what I
Tell
like what
me
Mike
what's
said?
Feel a
up.
connection
You
and
know?
You know what I like
passion.
what Mike said earlier? I
What?
like what he said. Anger motivates him. And you know what? The same fucking thing has motivated me through life. And I'm a fucking
Exactly.
survivor through a lot of
Yep.
bullshit. Yep. And I've actually sunk in bullshit literally before. I mean, cow shit. And I know what it's like to literally sink in it, and I know what it's like to verbally sink in it.
Well, listen.
You know what?
What's going
That's
to have to happen? Okay, listen. Let's say something about Nadia. She is a transgendered woman.
why are we talking about Nadia? We're not here about Nadia.
Well, no, I
We're
just
here
want to use
about
her as an
women in
example.
general.
Well, that's cruel
and-
fiction. That's Chris. She is a woman. She is a woman.
Yes,
I'm gonna
but
stand for
you know
Nadia.
what? But you know what? She has 8 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours a day. We're here
Right.
about us right now, and we're
Okay.
here about the rest of the world. Okay.
Okay,
Bunto,
so well, I'll say she has an advantage that way that she can just devote all her time
I
to
love
make
Nadia to
angry.
death. I know. I love her. I love her. She's great.
But
you
listen
know
to me, ladies, you're gonna have to find a kind of Nadia to break through, don't you think? Doesn't
What?
everybody here think that? You're gonna have to find a Nadia to break through.
No, we can break through our own way, our own
That's
style, our own
ridiculous.
words. Fuck
Well,
that.
okay, well,
Anybody
well,
else can
listen,
break through.
listen,
Wait.
Sid,
I didn't
she
understand what
can
you
be
were
on
saying.
TV all
What
the
does that mean?
time.
I was trying to
What?
understand what you were saying.
She
Yeah,
can
what
be
are you
on
saying,
TV
man?
all the time. Like she can have like 2 to 3 7-hour hangouts per day.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I
can't.
mean.
We're working women. We can't do that.
So I'm
Exactly.
saying that you need
I
to
would if I
have
could.
somebody kind of like that to break through with the female.
Why do we need that? Why are you giving us a?
What?
I'm not sure.
What is Mike doing?
Expand on that. Tell me why do you think that?
Why? Okay, how can I explain this? Okay, Nadia protects theism. Okay, you two girls are perfect examples of the female viewpoint that I would like to see. Right? I would not like to see.
Uh-oh. Here comes Mr. Bitchy.
Radcam. My God, man. Hey, Radcam, we're going to stop the whole conversation now and stand up for yourself, please.
Just keep in mind, I'm sacrificing sleep for this.
Oh man, Rancam.
What is going on? What did I get called into this fiasco for?
Okay, let's go.
I don't really think
Radcam,
you know.
we were talking about your upward trajectory in the circles, in the greater debate community.
Don't
How your
uppercut me, Rand.
popularity is
Why is
going
my
up.
Fall down.
Make my picture small there. I don't want it up there like that. I
What
want
do you,
it down.
what's your take, Radcam, on the way you see the community right now?
Oh, it's the low-income housing community of you two.
Don't fucking say that. I'm not low-income housing.
I love it.
I
love
overpay.
that.
I overpay.
That's a
for
great
my housing.
definition. Great
And
definition.
I work for my housing.
Have you taken a look around this community?
Yep.
Fiction?
We got the worst microphones, the worst cameras, the worst hairdos. You know what I mean? People got teeth falling out in the middle of conversations.
Yeah, and you need a razor. You need a razor, man.
I need a razor. That's right. You know, but look at, I'm no good neither, man. My lawn's not cut.
Who cuts their lawn in the middle of winter?
Okay, Rancam, your audience. I mean, do you love them, or you hate them, or you just don't give a shit?
Oh, I love them, bro. Come on, man.
Awesome.
They hate me. That's the
Talk to me about your audience.
With
Look at
God's
that.
love, tell us with
No, I
God's love.
love them. They hate me. That's the difference. No, I love them. I love them. I love them. You know what I mean? I love them for the way they hate me. I haven't ever been
Have
hated
another
with so
drink of
much love.
Jeebus juice there, buddy.
Huh? Jeebus juice? What's that made of? Does that come with Does that come with ice?
No, just delusional thoughts.
For free. For free.
Unlimited.
Okay.
That's a couple cubes.
Just delusional
damn it.
thoughts. All right.
I just
Well-
poured another drink. I'm on my fourth drink in probably about a half an hour here.
We
Son of a-
couldn't tell for sure.
So you were drunk 3 drinks ago.
I'm a cheap drunk.
Drink one for me. I've been sober for 16 years.
It's
Yeah,
Christmas fucking
sure
Eve,
you are,
man.
Jerry. You're 30 beers into a 2-4.
Happy Mistress. Happy Mistress, everybody.
All right,
Rest of
Rancam.
us for the rest of us.
Let me ask you this, Rancam. Does your audience enjoy you crushing atheists? Crushing atheism the way you do it?
Not as much as the atheists enjoy it.
Okay, explain that,
You know what
please.
I mean? Yeah, I got Christians that like it, but I get a lot of slack behind the scenes from my brothers and sisters telling me that, you know, I need to try to be a little bit more loving. And I'm trying to be, you know what I mean? I understand. I mean, you guys need a little Rand love once in a while, right?
All right. So there's actual Christians telling you to lay off atheists.
Not lay off, just be nicer.
Well, why? Why would
Be
you want to be
nice.
nicer?
Well, I don't. This is the struggle.
I mean, what do you tell them? You tell them, are you out of your cotton picking minds? Why do I want to give atheism a free pass?
Well, what I say to them is that I'll just go ahead and be accountable. You know, I'm a born again criminal along with being a born again Christian. I've been a criminal my whole life, and you know, anytime I had to stand up in front of a judge, I just became accountable for my crimes. I never tried to weasel out of a crime. I never tried to, you know, pretend it wasn't me. I just took the beef. That's it. That's all. And did my time. So when I stand before God and He says, "Come on, Rand, you were supposed to turn the other cheek. You were supposed to be nice to those atheists, and you weren't," I'll just take my beating then and there. I'm okay with it.
All right.
Now, did God email you this? How did you actually talk to him about this?
Oh no, I've got a private cell phone for him.
And it works.
But it's a Vegas to go plan though.
You should share the number. I'd love to talk to the guy as well.
Okay,
Hey,
Rand.
Rand, do you want
Yes, sir.
do you want to win the Do you want to win the Nobel Prize?
The Nobel Prize.
Yes, Nobel
Oh,
Peace
you
Prize.
mean like Al Gore won it for global warming and Obama won it for
Obama won it.
He's not even a contender there, Sid.
peace? You know what I mean? How can I not be a contender? How can I not be a contender?
Boxing gloves for Nobel Peace Prize. Right.
Hey, you gotta make an impression with the judge. If you don't have the intellect.
Do you guys not realize that I am hosting the first annual YouTube Stupid Awards on New Year's Eve?
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch that.
Are you people seriously trying to get nominated here tonight?
I would love to be a part of this.
I'm gonna bust the rib.
Well, who are some of the candidates, Rand? Please.
Well, I'll just give you one of the particular awards that is available, and I think we might have a winner here tonight. I'm
Please
ready to name down as a guaranteed nomination the drunkest atheist in an open air hangout.
Yeah, I would.
Can you think of that winner?
Yeah, I bet you I could drink you out of the fucking table there, Rand Cam.
If you ever drag me under the table, take your boots off.
And I'm about a third your size.
I love it, man. Perfect, Rand.
I never drink with my boots on.
Hey, Rand, who is your favorite atheist, Rand? Please.
My favorite atheist?
Yes.
Wow, bro. My favorite atheist. Negation of Pete.
Why?
I don't know. Just him and I have always had a really good rapport with each other. He's respectful. He's honest. He treats me like a man. I like people that know what a man is to be treated like. And
Good.
he's never, ever been disrespectful to me in any way, shape, or form. Now, that doesn't mean that other people, I don't like other ones as well. I love lots of atheists. But
Naughty?
in negation of P and I are good friends.
Okay, Nadia. Tell us your take on Nadia.
Nadia?
Yes.
I feel sorry for Nadia.
Why?
I just see an unhappy human being sitting in front of me that should have more life outside of her computer than what appears to be there.
Her social life is the Hangouts.
Yeah, exactly. I get 15 invites a day from her, and they're all different Hangouts.
Well, do you want to reach out to? Do you want to reach out to Nadia and change her life, or do you just want to let? Is she too far gone?
No, she's not too far. None of you people are too far gone.
Okay.
She just needs to reach out herself. You see, I can reach out to you guys, and that ain't gonna do a heck of a lot for you, except make most of you slap my hand back. And then of course I got to drop a quick left and a right.
Right.
And some of you know how to do that internet duck, and I keep missing. But the truth of the matter is that you got to reach out to God. Me reaching out to you doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? At this point, you guys gotta
So have you ever tried to tell Nadia, hey, reach out to God, or have you just watched it?
Of course, bro. Of course. With a tear in my eye, I've pleaded for her to do that.
Okay. What do you like about Nadia?
I like that she is openly vulnerable.
That's interesting. Openly vulnerable. That she, shows you that she is a human being.
Yeah, and she changed my opinion on homosexuality. Now, don't get that wrong, fiction fighter. I'm not fit to throw on a dress and go out and sell some booty on a corner tonight. But what I'm saying is...
Oh, hey, we put it past you.
I knew she was fit to get ready to put those boots back on, so I thought
Come on.
I love it.
A little boot. Yep, I can see that.
But, I had a real issue just with the whole homosexual thing. And she really got me to kind of re-gauge and look at it in a manner that I'm now kind of able to understand.
Have some empathy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Brad. Like, just understand the human aspect of it, because at the end of the day...
Come on, admit it, Rand. You just want her so bad.
Do you want Nadia? Brandcamp, do you find Nadia attractive enough?
Woman. Oh, yeah, she's sexy. If I was a man, I'd want her.
Okay, why don't you find Nadia attractive? Please, fiction. Go ahead, Rand.
Why don't I find her attractive?
Why don't you find her attractive?
The liar if he doesn't say so.
I hope this isn't hooked up to some kind of new internet lie detector test, and I'm not aware of it.
Would you be surprised, Rand, of a bunch of guys found her attractive?
No, I can actually name some that do, but I'll tell you why I'm not attracted to her.
Rev
I have a real fascination for blondes.
Okay.
Blue eyes.
Oh, Jenny, look out, Jenny.
And they wear glasses.
Give it up, Jenny. Give it up.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So Nadia is just like, she's off the rails in almost every category. But as a human being, would I be ashamed to sit down in a restaurant with her? Or on a patio with her and talk to her?
Man, you would take anything with boobs and a pussy right now, wouldn't you?
Oh, that's true. Oh, shit. Troll fiction.
This is a fiction line, pickup line. A fiction fighter, is that your pickup line? Is that how you expect to get a Rand Campbell?
I love it.
Show me that. You show me that library card when you're over 15 years old.
15 over is a little too old for me.
You've probably been 15 over 30 times in your life.
Oh, God. I'm glad you came, man. Okay, Ren. Okay, listen. I think Nadia is an attractive female in her own inimical way. That she is a very smart person. Do you see any of that, Rand?
Definitely smart. A little too smart for me. I mean, I gotta keep a dictionary. So I gotta keep a Bible to the right of me in these hangouts and a dictionary to the left because I never know what I'm talking anymore. You know what I mean? It's like
somebody uses a dictionary.
Well, I tried to, but I'm not quick enough. You know, I mean, thank God Nadia mumbles. It gives me a little extra.
Okay, Rand, would you prefer to, no philosophy, just 5 centimeters off the ground conversation, just dispense with any of the highbrow?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Crack open a beer or a pass of coffee. Let's just sit down and kick it like men. Kick it like, even if it's with a woman, let's just talk. I don't want to hear about ad homs and true Scotsman fallacies and all of this, all that nonsense. I never had that in a conversation growing up when I used to go to the park and talk to my buddies, or when I was, in the schoolyard talking to my friends. Then nobody, start diagnosing my conversation and telling me, no, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't. We just talk, man. So, that's who Rand is. I just like to talk to people. I'm not an educated man. I got a grade 6 education. I grew up in the streets. My mother killed my father when I was 4 years old in front of me. And then she killed another man when I was supposed to get out of the orphanage and ended up getting a life sentence. So I ended up spending my life in an orphanage and then 22 group homes. Then ended up on the streets, in and out of prison on drugs. I mean, I've had that life, right? So when I talk to people, I just want to talk to them like that. I'm not a smart guy. I'm not an educated man. I just want to talk to you like that, bro. You know what I mean?
Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in?
You want to take a shot at me? Come on, somebody take a shot at Rand. Gary, where did you get that? Gary, where did you get that stupid look in your face?
I was yawning.
I'm just kidding. It's
that exciting, Rand.
I know. I'm surprised you're not under the table with Fiction Fighter.
I love it.
I'm not brave enough.
No, you and me both, bro.
Well, Rand.
Off against circle stomps with more courage.
Yes, sir.
Rand, where do you want to take? I mean, how high do you want to go? Do you want to surpass G-Man, or you feel like you surpassed G-Man in 2014?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you're talking about. Look at brother. I've had 4 channels. I've kicked off this thing 4 times. Every time I get to like 500-600 subscribers, I just kick off. I'm not a fan of being a internet celebrity. It's not something I'm looking to do. I got way too many important things going on in my life. But with that being said, I appreciate, people appreciating what it is that I do, even if they appreciate it just for the lulz, even if they think I'm some kind of a joke or some kind of a fool. That's fine. I mean, I'm only doing this to break up my day. This isn't my day. This is just a part of the breakup of the day. You know what I mean?
All right.
I don't think you're a fool. I think you're a future mental patient. Other than that,
why future? Why can't you get me a room now beside you?
All right, Ren. G-Man, is he stagnated or is he on his way down?
G-Man, look, G-Man's gonna hold his own no matter what, bro. G-Man got a passion for whatever it is that he does. You know what I'm saying?
So nothing's gonna take down G-Man. I mean, he's forever.
Oh no, I never said that. Oh no, wait a second. I never said that. I'll tell you what's gonna take G-Man down. Are you ready?
Okay.
We can all say it at once if you want, because I know you're all thinking it. Are you ready on a count of 3? What's going to take down G-Man?
I've heard so many explanations, but I have no idea what's going to take down G-Man, please.
A nervous breakdown!
It'll be G-Man. Well, you're close. It'll be G-Man.
G-Man will take G-Man. Well, G-Man will lash out at his own. He'll cut the branch that he's sitting on.
He's just going to go Nova. He's just going to...
Unlike a Venom famed X, I really think G-Man is a true believer. He's not there for money. He's not there for fame. I think he's a true believer, and in some ways that makes him more crazy.
Yeah, well, his social skills really suck for being someone that he's like a minister. He's really not preaching to the choir. He's very abrasive. He's very abrasive and very obnoxious. He's I find him very hard to watch and repelling, actually.
What he said about Bionic Dance was unexcusable.
Yeah, that's really ridiculous, and I am a fan of hers.
Well, for our audience sake, what did he say, Gary, please, for our audience?
He said the first time he saw her, he thought that she was a man.
Okay. And
he made comments about her, what is it, she's got epilepsy or...
Okay, yeah, so he made fun of her medical condition.
Yeah, it was just kind of brutal in every way, and...
Okay, why did G-Man do this?
Because he's a prick.
Oh, just for the sake of being a prick, he did it. He didn't do it for...
He's very obnoxious. He's got a very mean side. He's mean. I see it. I mean, it's
Okay,
yeah.
Rand, what do you think of being cruel just for the sake of being cruel? Is that like no direction you would ever go
Well,
in?
well, I'll be honest with you. There's no such thing as being cruel just for the sake of being cruel.
Okay, so
There
Gary
are there
wasn't
are
being cruel.
there are ulterior motives. No matter. I mean, I believe that with everything comes purpose and intent. And being a salesman, I teach motivation. I also open and install sales rooms all across this country. So I'm aware of, when people speak about their motives and their intent is. And I would say the G-Man is, he's intentful. He wants the bigger audience, and he goes after the bigger names in order to get their subscribers.
Okay.
And as long as he sticks to preaching the gospel, I got no issue with it, because that's what he's doing. Even if the atheists or certain Christians don't think he's doing it correctly, I understand his intent and his motive. And for me, coming from my world view, I get it and I understand it and I'm okay with it.
Rancamp, would you ever do that yourself? Pick on somebody's weakness to exploit it to get subs.
No, to get a pizza, yes, but not subs.
Not subs.
I'm
Okay.
not.
Bionic Dance is kind of low-hanging fruit on many levels, right? I mean, you could attack her sexuality. I guess attack her. I didn't know she had epilepsy.
Man, that fruit fell and hit the ground a while ago, bro. She's not even low hanging.
All right. Okay. What is off bounds to somebody who's on the upward trajectory? What would you not attack?
The person.
Okay, the person.
I think sometimes character can be separated from the person, but when you start attacking things that people have no control over, or things that are sensitive to people, and you recognize that it's something sensitive to that person, I think that's going too far. Like, for instance, last year, an atheist had said in their video that they hope that my daughters choked to death.
Oh, really?
Who said that? Well, I'm not going to say who it was, but they gave me an apology video anyways, and it was a big deal at the time. But yes, I think that's going too far, but I think they recognized it was going too far. I've gone too far on a couple of occasions and had to pull back an apology, and so I think we're just in that kind of a place where sometimes you can do that.
Okay.
But
you're experimenting with your expression, and you went over the bounds, but you realized it, correct?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Gary is the same creature or not? Okay, think about this, Rand. I mean, he started out this year pretty much with a spectacle. Remember, around March, he said he was an atheist.
Yes, he did the chocolate atheist.
So, I mean, is he looking for a spectacle, or is he just expressing himself and then accidentally going over the bound?
I'd say the latter. I'd say that he's trying to express himself in a way that affords him his intent, which is to get the bigger audience, with the intent of preaching to that audience. But I think that he has. I'm almost done, Gary. Did the middle of my sentence interrupt you? So what I would say is that he's starting to figure that out. I mean, I think now that's not a good excuse for him. I think that he's gone through that enough times now that to use that as an excuse today is probably not fitting.
Okay.
But we're all works in progress, right? Even the atheists are still works in progress.
Okay, Rand, which has more freedom of expression, the atheist or the Christian?
Oh, the atheist.
Why?
Because we're accountable not only to our Creator, but we're also accountable to the other brothers and sisters of this community. And the problem is that you guys aren't. There's nobody really that you're accountable. I mean, look at Saitan Atheist. He went up on a video with a Bionic Dance about her going into a seizure. It was kind of, some were okay with it, and then there were those that maybe weren't quite as okay with it. But at the end of the day, there's no real judgment for him on that.
Okay, so he gets a free pass.
May I defend myself sometime?
Go ahead, Gary.
You think I'm trolling for subs? Dude,
No,
I
pizza.
don't expect anything.
No,
I'm
pizza.
never going to make a dime doing this. I'm never going to get
How
more
long
than
you
what
been trolling me,
probably
Gary?
have.
How long have you
Maybe
been
I
trolling
got what
me?
I have now.
Yeah, but Gary, how long you and I go back?
Maybe 3 weeks. I,
See, now I know you've been under that table with fiction fighter.
I've been doing this for like 5 months.
Facts is not trolling Rand Cam.
Take your
I've
boots
been
off,
doing this
fiction
for
fighter.
5 months. I don't know where
Also,
you're coming from.
And my pants are coming off next.
Oh
Come
God,
on, Gary. Grab a fork, son. Listen. Gary, I have a video. I have a video of Gary harassing me a year and a half ago.
Rand Cam define trolling.
A year and a
Define
half
trolling.
ago. I've been doing this for like
Trolling.
5-6 months.
What's
What's that
trolling?
video you did where you said that you and I have something in common and it's called rage?
Oh, the rage issues, yeah.
All right.
About a year and a half ago.
Oh, I've never
How long
heard
ago was that?
Rand Cam have rage yet. He's a pussycat.
Yeah. Oh, I can go off if I need
I know my oldest video is no more than 6 months.
Okay, I thought it was longer, but you. So when did you find me? Because you must have found me real quick. Is there like a Rand Campbell radar out there with the atheists?
No, I think it was anti.
Cam, it's the same thing as you do, following us.
Reasonist?
You did all.
Put up one
I
of
just
your
look for the
videos.
staggered footprints.
No,
I think it's called a Randor.
It was logic.
I just
the
looked
first
for the
time
yellow
I
tape
saw
and the
you was
staggered
logic.
footprints. That's how I found Fiction Fighter.
Say that again to me, asshole.
I just looked for the yellow tape and the staggered footprints.
Okay, well, let me ask you this,
Footprints.
Rand. Rand, does any atheist take advantage of the free pass? Or they're
course.
too stupid and don't do it?
No, I'd say there are a lot that do.
Well, an example so we could just know, okay, this is somebody who's taking advantage of it.
Well,
You
I
mean
just gave you
Saitan?
advantage. I just gave
Saitan
you
takes advantage of it all the time.
Yes, he does. I would say Alex Botten does. I would say Glute does. I would say Brucifer does. I mean, I could show you a list.
Some people would say that Alex Botten is the perfect foil for theists. You realize that? That he does not present a cogent argument ever.
I would agree with that.
So you see what I mean? It's sort of like, in pro wrestling they have the shooter. Alex Botten is a shooter.
Right. Yeah.
Theists. Alrighty. So I mean, give me somebody who's like out there that you fear, Rand.
Fear?
I mean,
no, wrong word. I don't fear anybody, bro. Not
you don't
one.
fear
There is
any
nobody.
atheist.
Nope, not one. I am, and I'll put it on the record. I usually don't do things like this, but I am, in my opinion, one of the strongest forces on the Christian side for the atheist to deal with. If I decide to put it to the test, I'm bulletproof in this corner, but.
Okay, we were talking about somebody earlier named Forbidden Fruit.
Oh, Fruit Punch.
He doesn't scare you?
At all.
Oh, why? What's easy about him?
He got nothing new, bro. I mean, the only thing he does is he speaks very clear, very precise, very strong. He's very opinionated. You can hear a tinge of anger in him, but he's got some comedic skills. I'll give him that. He got some comedic skills.
He has some charisma.
He doesn't take it. He doesn't seem to take it very seriously. Although he's in his heart, he's sending a serious message. He's good. I'll give him credit. He's good. But that's why when you guys told him to do a video on Rand Campbell or whoever sent him the list of Christians to go after, and I was on that list, he had to, when the video he did on me, he immediately said, "Look, you guys aren't going to like this," but I went easy on Rand because the truth of the matter is he likes me.
Okay.
And who wouldn't? Look at Fiction Fighter. If I had $20 for every time she sent me a drunken proposal to marry her.
All right. Well, okay. We also talked about somebody named Ozymandias.
I don't give anybody
different
a
level.
marriage proposal. I'm fine all on my own.
All right. I'll send them back then tonight.
Right. Okay, Rand Cam. Somebody like Ozymandias. You even know who the guy is?
Of course I know who Ozzy is.
Well, I mean, do you ever get to that level of discourse with philosophy?
No, I got no interest in it, bro.
I have no interest in it either.
No,
so, I mean, if people coming at me...
If you ever catch me on a patio sipping a beer with a philosopher, kick me in the face, bro. What's that, Gary?
I like to see you versus Hell Broke Lucy.
Hell Broke Lucy.
I like Hell Broke Lucy.
Yeah, I would love to see you and Hell Broke Lucy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be bloody.
Anytime, bro. But I don't
Doesn't
debate.
matter.
I do these things. I don't debate. I just have conversations.
Okay.
I'm not interested in debates with,
Conversation.
my
Cool.
new buddy.
Get to the facts there, Mr. Rancam.
I'm sorry.
Don't you say anything about me pursuing you. I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. Did you just trip over your upper lip? Did you just trip over your upper lip? You trying to say something to me, hon? Look at me. I just got out of a 19-year relationship. I just got out of a 19-year relationship. Stop the Rand question, please, dear. Stop the Rand
question. I have no crush on you. I'm telling you.
Well,
it takes a hell of a lot. More of a brain.
I'm going to go copy and paste the 19,685 comments you've left on my video since March.
Oh yeah, whatever. They were all factual.
I'll tell you what, you make me laugh.
It's okay, Rand.
He's not 50 precise.
When I found out you were a woman, I fell off my chair, ma.
Rand, you're more used to talking
I thought I was fighting a man the way you were talking to me.
I'm afraid.
What's that, Sid?
I said Rand is much more used to talking bullshit than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
How about theoretical bullshit?
Okay, how about that one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you talking about the soap opera dude?
Yeah.
Well, why would anybody bother?
His mom is a psychologist,
Good. And his screensaver is a mirror. Why would I care to talk
play
to
you like a little fiddle.
Huh? I've never seen somebody wink at themselves more often in a video than that guy.
All right, that's good. Okay, what is the problem with the atheist delivery, Rand? What is wrong with the atheist delivery? Is
Nothing.
Is it too weak, or is it too highbrow, or is it not on target?
Why do you care, Bunto? Are you an atheist?
Look at fiction. Go grab yourself a drink.
Why do you fucking care?
I'm just asking for his views, for his observations.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Here's what I think. I think that the atheist, if you're going to be a comedic atheist, don't use insults as your only means of comedic value.
Okay.
That bothers me because there's so much more that you could do to be comedic if you want to be a comedic atheist.
Okay, Rand, here's some sympathy for you. I feel really horrible for your whole life, and I feel really sad that you're going to be alone this Christmas, just like the rest of us.
I'm alone right now. I have nobody. I'm alone in a condo by myself, and I'm okay. I mean,
yeah, the other voices in his head.
Well, I do have them, Gary.
You have Jeebas.
Or I have those 27 videos you did on me last year, Gary.
I did maybe 5.
Only 5, Rand. Okay, but Rand, please tell me the delivery. What do you if you had to improve, if your life depended on it to improve atheist delivery, what would you offer?
Pontification become lecture.
Wow. I would just say, you know what, if everybody just stopped trying to sound like the next Hitchens or the next Dawkins, or trying to stop being the next, great debater, and just came in, it was just yourselves and just...
Yeah, but just me, myself, and I. That's all I use.
Well, that's because you're drunk. The middle one's holding you up.
Well, that's it. I'm not as drunk as you like to think I am.
I bet you can't say that in Chinese.
I can say it in tongues.
That's pretty easy.
No, I think if people just, just keep it fun. Don't take it personal.
Please, fiction, please.
Now you sound like my friend Thick Shades.
Yeah, that's about it.
I would say that if people were just themselves, kept it fun, and not took it so personally. I don't take this stuff personally. Just have fun, man. I mean, if somebody comes at you, let them come at you. If you're going to be a debater, be a prepared debater. Don't just come in and
win. Sick him, Sid. Come on.
Who's Sid?
Atheist.
Is that the blonde lady?
No. Come on, Sid. Say something. The blonde lady is Jenny.
Well, I wait until... Okay, are you finished, Rand?
Yeah, I'm finished, sir.
No, don't wait for him to finish.
Well, it's only polite, right?
Yes.
Go
ahead.
What
we're talking about, is this a platform for entertainment or for education?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm being educated. I hope that some of the things that I do in my videos can, at some level, educate people on some of the wisdom that I've gained in living this life. It's, you bump your head under.
Why is that included imaginary God there, Rand? Tell us all about it.
No, be have respect. Come on, guys.
If you brought me in here, to belittle me, I'm okay with it. But if you brought me in here the gospel,
Rand, I apologize for that.
No, go on.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. That's fine. I've been belittled by bigger men.
Happy Mythmas.
Yes.
Behave, fiction, please. Okay, go ahead, Rand, please.
I don't know. I would just say that you know, I like it to be entertaining. I guess if I had to pick one of the two, for me, I'm going to pick the entertainment.
Okay.
Like the Armored Skeptic.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be fun. If you're coming on to YouTube and these Google Hangouts to blow gaskets and get yourself all riled up and upset that you can't wind down and get a good night's sleep and still show love to your family and your pets, then you're doing the wrong thing, man. Don't come here.
Once in a while, I do blow up. I admit that.
Well, you know, I just hope when you're done, you deflate her and put her back in the box.
I always come for the fun factor.
Sid?
You want to see me snap, look up my video, To Hell with God's Will. That I went, even I think I went too far in that one.
Oh, did you? So you don't like the will of God?
Oh, when somebody says that, we covered this before. You know my thing about I hang up about assisted suicide?
Yeah. Sorry.
How the religious like to say, it goes against God's will. I did a video about that and snapped pretty hard.
You see, whereas I would say that even Judas was fulfilling God's purpose. I think you're all fulfilling God's purpose, each and every one of you.
Well, now you're going a little bit too far, I think.
Well, that's my belief.
Now you're begging a question, and you're assuming that we.
I wasn't begging a question. I was begging silence, but apparently I didn't get it.
I'm so sorry, Ren, but you said God, and you didn't say alleged God, because you know that this is the truth hangout.
Yeah, there's no such thing as holy silence here.
You cannot bring an entity in here. If you bring an entity in here that is not, made in Canada, then you got to say alleged God.
Okay. All right. Well, I can let you say it for me, and I'll just continue on with what I was
I'd be
saying.
happy to.
Well, I have a question for you.
Hey, in Rand's defense, he believes it's true.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, well, Rand, I want to ask you this. Does any atheist message upset you, truly? Any atheist message?
Every atheist message.
Everyone?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because
I'm not shocked.
because I believe that it's leading you somewhere I don't want you to go.
Why do we care what you want there, Rand?
I mean, like, if an atheist that says there's no such thing as Noah's Ark, or the atheist that says there are no God, you see them the same, right? The no God doesn't upset you more than there is no Noah's Ark.
It all upsets me, bro. I mean, I understand the end result of this, and when I look at you people,
want to see us in heaven? I'll tell you.
Well, Rand, there's even Christians who say there's no Noah's Ark. See what I mean?
Well, I would be concerned as to, whether or not they were Christians. That's just my opinion.
That's always your defense. They're not Christian.
Okay, whatever. I mean, of course you got an argument for it, Gary. But that's just me. I would say that, you kneel at the cross, you accept Christ your Lord and Savior. You don't have to go much further than that. You're not going to be any more saved by believing Noah's Ark. You're not going to be any less saved by not believing it. You're not going to be any more saved as a Calvinist. You're not going to be any less saved as a Calvinist.
Hold on a second. I mean, if I was a Muslim, I'd say, hold on a second. You talk about the wrong God.
Well, there is only one God, so I don't know how I would.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the God of Islam. Allah. His name is Allah. It says in the book.
Okay, so you're gonna take that walk.
No, it's a book. It says so. It says Allah is the one God, and
how many gods there are, bro? There's only two.
Muhammad is his messenger. So hey,
there's only two beliefs.
And
There's
then
only
it
two beliefs
says,
in the world.
and then it says, hold on a second, and then it says Jesus is just the prophet. That's it.
So you're a
So
Well,
sorry.
next one we're talking religion again.
Your Jesus loses.
Rand,
Jesus
go ahead.
loses.
Ram,
Go
what's your argument for God, Rand?
Was my argument for God? There's no argument against him.
Okay, Hades, come on.
That's my argument for him. That there's no argument against him.
What do you mean? So there's no argument against God. So that means God exists.
Everything against God. Anything that anybody says against God is pure foolishness. That's my argument against atheism. Is that it's just foolishness.
That's foolish. Okay, hey, well, let me ask you this, Rand. I find it hard to believe that you find all atheist arguments equally bad. I mean, now you're telling me there is such thing as a polite atheist? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, there's polite atheists, absolutely. I think you're one, or at least you're appearing polite in this particular discussion.
Well, I'll take the former. But look, there has to be some atheist argument that always sets you off. That's what I'm after. That just
no, not the argument, bro.
Bro,
the
Rand,
insults and
I'll give
attacks
you one.
on my Savior. That's if it's an argument to use insults and attacks on Jesus Christ, then that one sets me off. I don't see that as an argument, though. I see it as a provocation.
Okay, provocation.
Rand, I'll give you one. God, your God and any God is impossible. So, being that your God and any God is impossible, a God or any God.
Right. Well, to my understanding,
you're
all things are possible through my God. So how do you account for that?
Your God doesn't exist.
That's your argument?
God is impossible, therefore God doesn't
How can
exist.
he be impossible?
The air don't exist right there, buddy.
How can God be impossible if all things are possible through him?
Sid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask an atheist a question?
Go ahead, please.
I'm by the way, I'm new in this hangout here. I just had a quick question for Ask an Atheist. I'm pretty sure Rand already knows where I'm going with this when I say it, and half the everyone else in this call does. Mr. Ask an Atheist, let me ask you, do you believe air is real?
Sid?
Do I believe air is real?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean? Do I believe air is real what?
As in, do you believe the air you're breathing is real?
Is real air or what?
Yeah, without it, we wouldn't be breathing at all, and no life.
Get it. What do you mean
Okay,
is real?
so
I don't
basically,
think
wow.
So basically, it's
real
you're believing that.
You can't see it, Sydney. You can't
yeah, but
see
it's
it.
either real or it's something else, but it's still there.
Without it, we'd be dead.
Without it, you'd be dead, and with it, you're alive. So you believe there's something there, but you can't see it.
So
does that make it not real?
It's tangible.
No, we can feel it.
Tangible.
Conversation.
Yeah, you can feel God in your you can feel God whenever you're walking with him too.
I don't feel God.
Hey, fiction, please.
If you put a bag over somebody's head, that air is going to go away rather quickly.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But
Go on the water. Go on the water. You're gonna feel there's no air there.
Please, let's get to the heart of the matter. Is there a God or not? All right, let's not worry about air, putting bags over people's heads, or interrupting people, okay? Can we just get to the fact of if there's a God, right? Rand, you believe God is possible, correct?
Oh, not only possible, absolute.
Absolutely, right?
Yes.
So, God is something that exists within the human mind. Only.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Well, how else does he exist?
Well, he doesn't exist in the reprobate mind.
Well, okay, well, I'll give you that, Sid, but he must exist in the human mind, right?
Well, he exists in everything, so he exists at
Okay,
every
so he's
level.
like the Force. He's like the Force, right? He exists in, planet Uranus. He's somewhere in there,
Arse.
correct? I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
the thing is, Sid, is scientists are having such a hard time finding God.
Well, the reason why is because
They don't want to find
for the
God.
same reason. For the same reason,
Oh,
a thief isn't looking for a policeman.
That's true.
No, I think scientists have found God, but they don't want to shock the world, so they're keeping it
A
a secret.
secret. That's exactly that. Do you know Area 51?
Yeah.
I think that's called. Yeah, I think that there's God there. I think
but
they're trying
even
to hide it.
Area 51 is
No,
known. See what I mean?
No,
I mean,
but it's only
It's
known
just
to a
a
select
secret.
few amount of people, though.
the
Bunto?
thing. Yeah, I'm listening. The thing is that there's 7 billion people on this planet, right? And we still, to this day, cannot establish the fact that this guy exists somewhere in our reality. Why
Because
is that,
it's a
Rand?
concept. That's right.
Yes, because it is a concept.
It's
So,
no,
Rand,
why ask me a
Security
question? You're
project
gonna.
that started 2,000 years ago.
Why are you
Right.
gonna ask me
Okay.
a
I'll
question?
establish something. Right. Ran. If you're gonna argue for a god, okay,
Right.
you need to provide proof. You can't, your reason can't just be providing evidence that there's no god, because I'm not arguing that there's no god, right? That'll be the burden of proof on me. I'm not arguing that. I'm not making a claim that there's no god. All right. I'm open to that possibility, but you need to show me how there is a god, Ran.
Why? I'm not making the claim for you.
All right. There's no debate.
That's right. I said that in the beginning that there's no debate.
All right. Okay. I
What-
didn't realize. I thought this was a debate.
I'm
What
not
was
the
the
guy,
original
bro. You understand?
question?
Rand Campbell ain't the guy. I don't bring my beliefs to the table to convince you of them.
Or just to debate in
why
general.
not, Rand? Why not, Rand?
Because,
It's a live
because
hangout.
you guys have already heard this
I
umpteen
haven't.
times in your life. You've rejected
I
it
haven't.
time again.
But people are
How many times
watching.
have you
Are they
heard
going to reject it?
Rand,
People that are
so
watching
we
gonna reject
have,
it?
so Rand, we have to prefer to believe in God for it to work.
I think if it's going to be honest, I think that you have to reach out to God in a true sincerity, which I don't think that you're capable of.
Well,
Right
given
now,
that,
right
Rand, but why is God that powerless? Why do I have to be sincere?
Oh, it's not that he's powerless. You see, understand something. In all relationships, the one that loves the least controls it. And that by its very measure should let you know that you love God less than he could ever love you. And it's up to you to reach out to him. And in that gap that you miss him by, that space where you fall short, is where grace resides. And when you get to that place, you're able to reach for the grace. And
Okay,
through
Rand.
grace, through the
Rand,
grace, you have belief.
You're
But you guys don't
describing.
want-
All right, Ran. All right.
Rand,
Okay,
no,
nice.
give me a chance. Rand, you're describing a very human God, right? But wasn't
No.
this the guy who invented the universe, who created the universe? I mean, if he wanted me to believe, couldn't he just make me believe?
No, let me ask you a question. Just
Go ahead.
because your girlfriend wants you to love her.
Well, but my girlfriend's human.
No,
Plus-
but listen to me. But
She's
it's
Nadia.
it's
Nadia
based-
doesn't love me yet. What?
It's
Go ahead.
based on. I wouldn't listen to that. Keep that off air, bro. People start rumors, so you got to pay to stop them.
Oh,
But
you
what I
think
would
so?
say is, what I would say is that this ain't over yet. That's first and foremost. This is far from over yet. So there's
I want to hear the analogy.
a lot of changes. The bottom line is that I've witnessed a lot of atheists come to Christ on their deathbeds, and I have yet to witness a Christian come to atheism on theirs.
Well,
Okay.
Rand, the thing is that you're
Anecdotal.
out that these people prefer there to be a God. Okay?
How do
You
you, I
just-
don't prefer there to be. I wish there wasn't, so that
Ran,
I can go back to
Ran,
being a
Ran,
gangster.
Ran,
So I can go back to being a
Ran.
criminal.
Tell me.
Ran, can you give your analogy for the girlfriend thing, and I'll explain why the analogy is bad. Give an analogy you're going to give to
Bunto.
Okay, I'll do it another way. Let's say there's a girl you like.
Fine.
Go
Can
on.
you force her to like you?
If I'm an omniscient being, then yeah.
No, but not if you're also a just being.
Okay, so that holds him back.
Well,
Okay.
it basically it gives you the right to make a choice.
Why is my right of choice so important to God?
Well, because who wants to spend eternity with people that don't want to be?
Okay. So I'll give this girl a choice then. She has a choice to like me or not.
Okay, so what if she chooses not to? You're gonna force her to stay with you?
No.
Okay. So you'll be okay with her?
Should I punish her for eternity in hell based on that?
Did you create her?
Pun?
Did you create her?
You're the one giving me this hypothetical,
Well, no,
right?
but we're talking. But we're still talking.
Yeah, I know, but you're the one.
The conversation didn't end just because you came up with one question.
No, but I don't understand. You're the one giving the hypothetical. I don't even know if I created her or not. I don't know what the circumstances are.
Okay, but you're already into the conversation, so your boots are off. Let's just keep talking. The bottom line is that did you create her?
I don't know, because you're the one that's created this hypothetical.
Exactly. So in this situation, I'm playing God, and I am telling you that I created the scenario, so it plays out the way I decide. You don't get that choice.
Okay, so no, I didn't create her. No.
You okay with that?
I didn't create her. No, I don't understand.
No, of course. That's right. God, this is God's creation, and we're all down here trying to complain and argue how the creation should have went and how this should have all played out. And when it doesn't play out the way that we wanted to, we deny that there is a creator because it's easier to deny the creator than it is to accept that you're not the creator.
So that justifies eternal hell then, just because that justifies eternal hell, Ram.
Rand.
Yes.
Wow. Let me ask you something. Does God ever strike you that we bend reality around God? That we kind of make up rationales? I mean, to explain God, how he works, he's like a sort of transparent thing that we have to like bend reality around him for it to work.
Well, we have to come outside of our own understandings. If you refer that as being bending reality.
Well, why can't we use science to establish the fact of this guy, Rand?
Do you trust science? Do you trust science?
Yes, I do. I trust method in science.
Okay, but
why is that bad? Why is that bad to do that?
Okay, just a second. Do you trust the science community?
Yes.
Why?
I trust their method more than
it's accountability. Rand, if a scientist makes a mistake, he better be careful because there other scientists are going to jump on him like sharks on blood.
All right. Are those other scientists fallible?
Sure, everybody's fallible. Everybody's fallible. We're all human.
So if I offered millions of dollars to scientists to keep their mouths shut, would they accept that money?
Okay, well,
I'm showing you the weakness. I'm not saying that is happening.
But Rand, the inverse is the same too for Christians. Could I pay Christians $1 million to hold up a delusion?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Rand, okay, what I'm trying to say is this, Rand. What is so bad about science proving God? What?
Well, Kenneth, that's the question.
Well, okay, so that's bad. That is the fault of science that it cannot prove God.
What do you think happens the day science does prove God?
Well, then guess what? We've proved there's game over, don't you say? Would you say? Exactly. I mean, we tested. We tested 100 times. Hey, guess what? This is God. So guess what? Science is on board with the God concept.
Have you ever gone out to prove that a friend of yours was not trustworthy, and then found out you were right?
Rand. A wise man once
sometimes you got to be careful what you look for.
Be careful what you look for. That two of them are dead.
Rand.
Talking about the grand conspiracy that's too big.
Is it? How do you know?
Bunto, he won't even provide an argument.
It's too big from your perspective. It's too big from your perspective, but that doesn't mean it's too big.
Why do you do YouTube?
Even a flea thinks he's huge on the back of an elephant. His perspective.
No, they fucking don't. No, they don't.
Well, he doesn't. It's an elephant.
Fleas don't even have the cognitive abilities to be able to do that.
How do you know?
Oh wow.
Okay, well
I would say science, but you don't trust science at all because apparently it's like a little conspiracy theorist to you.
No, not that. I'm saying that because people are fallible. I don't trust the church. I don't attend church.
So how do you know the Bible's real then, Rand?
I'm sorry. Continue.
How do you know the Bible's real? Then, if everything could be a mistake.
Because I read it with a discernment. I read it with an understanding. I don't come from the precept of it being a lie.
Understanding
I come
of what?
from the precept of being the Word of God.
Okay, Rand.
Oh, wow.
Rand, for Christianity to work for me, I have to prefer there to be a God.
Define prefer. You've used that a couple times.
Okay, I need for there to be a God. I mean, I need for something to be out there for me to understand how this thing works.
Is that what you think the Christian beginning is?
I think so.
The preferring, yeah. Well, I can promise you, I wish there wasn't one.
Okay, you are a Christian right now who wishes there was not a God.
Yes.
Okay, explain, please.
Well, there's people I'd like to do things to that I can't do them to them now because I'm a Christian. The night that I got saved, I had a baseball bat in my car, and I was going to get ready to go down and take some helmets off. I was in a business with 2 pocket watch that ripped me off for about $75,000, and I had a bat in my car, and I was getting ready to go down there and take them off their feet. And I ended up going to a Promise Keepers meeting and accepted the Lord as my Savior, and took that baseball bat and threw it in a green garbage bin.
Okay, so there's some.
So when I say that I prefer there wasn't a God,
charity.
When I say that I prefer that there wasn't a God, there's a lot of things that I missed doing in my whole life when I was a bad guy that I don't do now because there is a God. And there are days, like for instance, even smoking cigarettes. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I'd sure like a cigarette. But I feel like I'm accountable to my Father in heaven, so I don't even bother to think about it a second further. But there are reasons why there are people that piss me off so much in this life that if it wasn't for God, I'm telling you,
I'll give you that, Rand. But Rand, okay, we're talking about pissing off people, okay? Mm-hmm. Don't you hate pissing off God?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
Pissing me off too.
Imagine if you did not prefer for there to be a God, so you would not worry about pissing off a God.
That's right. But
Follow that?
Yeah, bro, I get you. But that's the problem, is that I know there's a God. So
see, that's what I mean.
I don't have a choice in it.
How do you prove that, Rand?
I can't.
He won't.
Well, that's why you prefer there to be God.
He can't.
Listen, to me, bro. I'm going to tell you something. I like you, and so I'm just going to pretend nobody else is in the room for the next couple of seconds while I just say something to you on a personal level.
Go ahead, Rand.
I like you. I wasn't going to come into this room when I first took a look at this room and seen what I was coming into. I knew that there were going to be attacks on my character and attacks on me as a person. But I was okay with it.
Should I leave you to Bond?
No, that's fine. I was okay with it because that's a part of what we do. I'm okay with it. However, I was led to come in here, although right now I can't find my youngest daughter. She's closed her Facebook and changed her phone number, and I can't find her. So I got an issue that I'm worried about with that situation. But that's fine. I took in that I came in here to take a break from that, from my trying to figure out what's going on, so that I could spend some time with you guys and hopefully, take some of that off my mind a little bit, which I have done. But I just want to tell you that I like you. I think you're a decent person. I think that your questions are fine.
Get a room.
It seriously bothers me.
He hasn't been impacted shit yet. Keep going, Rand.
It seriously bothers me that I can't prove God to you. If I could wake up tomorrow and have the gift to do anything I wanted, produce money at the snap of a finger, change everything I ever did wrong in my life and make it all good at the snap of a finger. If I could do anything, the one thing that I would want to do would be the guy that could prove God to the non-believer.
Okay.
If I could do anything, that's what I would want to do.
The guy who can prove God to the non-believer is known as a scientist.
Well,
you realize that?
Well, you believe that. I don't. I didn't need him to prove him to me.
Okay, you have a point there. I'll say that. To a believer who prefers to believe there's a God, you don't need a scientist. But for people like me, a materialist, you're going to need some sort of method and evidence for God.
Or
even a picture.
Well, truth isn't dependent on evidence.
Rand?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Truth is not dependent on evidence.
Yes, God is true, and we don't need evidence.
They murder your daughter. Do we not need truth in the evidence to know who did it?
Well, let me ask you a question. Did O.J. Simpson kill Nicole?
I have to say yes.
Okay, well, there you have it, bro. I guess the evidence didn't matter.
Well, the thing is, the evidence was feminized, okay? Who knows?
Okay,
well, he grabbed the glove and then he put it in the bed. I mean, the fucker would have just let the glove where it was. I'm sure that would have been enough to nail OJ, but
Well, what I'm trying to say is that, like, you don't need evidence or proof for it to believe something is true in order for it to be true. Like I was saying earlier to these guys, I just drank this Mountain Dew can earlier, but you can probably hear it right there. There's a Dew can, empty one, sitting on my desk right now.
now that does not work for law. You realize that, Shane?
No. I'm not talking about law right now. I'm just saying that you don't have to believe it or understand it or know that it's true or have evidence. But there really is a Mountain Dew can sitting right there on my desk right now.
We're just looking for some evidence.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is,
Better than a Mountain Dew can.
listen. What I'm trying to say is, you don't need evidence in order for something to be true. Here, the Mountain Dew can is true, even though you don't have evidence for it.
Bran,
Yes, sir.
what do you think? Is that good enough? Is that good enough for law? I mean, to ascertain who is guilty and who is not.
Well, you see, that's the whole thing, is that when I walked into a courtroom and I had a trial ahead of me, my lawyer and I agreed on one thing, and that's that we weren't going to present evidence that the jury didn't believe. There's no sense. You guys don't believe the Bible, so I don't present the Bible as evidence. You guys don't believe my testimony, so I quit providing my testimony. I believe there is no.
Why don't we want to believe your evidence? Not because we want to be impolite, but because it's not scientifically sound.
For you.
Also, history.
Historically sound.
Yeah, historically sound. Christian history and Christian teaching are at odds with one another. That's always been my hang-up.
Well, then you're in luck, Gary, because there really isn't a hang-up there. But if you could kind of go into detail about what specific things, I might be able to try to iron some of this stuff out for you. Start small. Don't just.
Okay, Rand, do you want to convince the jury?
Yes, of course. I just told you that if I could do anything.
So the way to do it is by not offering your strongest evidence. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that my strongest evidence has been rejected.
That's
but I know that. But I know the strongest evidence is coming very soon, and so I'm waiting for that to happen and hoping that you people wake up before then.
Okay, I'm begging you to convince me, Rand. I'm begging you to convince me. You're going to hold back.
Then here, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'll do for you, and I don't do this for a lot of people.
I love it. Okay, please, Rand. The atheist is begging you to convince him, and you're going to hold back on him.
Nope. There's my Skype. Contact me when you're ready to seriously talk.
Okay, I am seriously talking.
I won't be used in an open forum to be mocked, bro.
Well, I'm not saying.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying if you're as serious as you say you are, add me on Skype, and I'll sit down with you and I will talk to you man to man. And if you reject what I say to you, then we're right back where we started. But at the very least, I've done for you what you asked me to do.
Rand, man to man. Why can't it be man to 7 billion humans to convince them? Why is there so many religions?
Why does Fruit Punch? Why is he only taking down Christianity one bite at a time?
Well,
have you confronted him about that?
I could sign off. I don't want to be an issue.
Well, no. I'm actually. It's Christmas Eve. It's three. What time is it? 3:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I still can't find my daughter. At any rate, I don't mind doing this with you guys, but there's my Skype. If you're serious and you want to add me on Skype, I'd be more than happy to talk to you anytime you want.
Well, okay, we can have another hangout, correct?
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
But, the thing is that other atheists are other atheists. For me, it's just scientific materialism.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be as hung up on science as you seem to be, bro.
Okay.
These are people, and they're infallible, and there's things going on in these groups of people that are geared towards greed, selfishness, and a need to be important. So
if I was greedy and if I wasn't selfish, we could still talk science?
We can talk about whatever you want, brother. You got my
All
Skype.
right.
I'm gonna head out.
I
God
thank
bless
you
you
for
guys.
coming in. Thank you for coming in, Ran. Have a
Yeah,
good
my
one.
friend. All right, you guys have a wonderful day tomorrow. Be safe.
God bless you. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Rand.
All right,
Bye.
same to you, Seamus. Love you, man. Hey, same with you, Administrator. You guys have a really nice Christmas, Gary. You guys stay out of trouble. Be safe.
Thank you, Ran. All right.
So,
Oh, that was interesting.
Let's talk about Gary here. Gary had some things he wanted to bring up.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm going to get a refill.
Okay. Well, we can start with slavery, how the Bible supports it, how the church fought to keep it going until society said, no, we don't want this anymore. Then the church turned around and said, oh, look, yeah, slavery's bad.
Right. You're talking
Witch
about like
burning.
American. You're talking about American slavery specifically.
Slavery in Europe, anywhere. There is no good slavery.
Oh no, I agree. I agree 100% with you there. See,
There is no good witch burning either.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. So we've seen times in the past, specifically, like I'll name a few instances, like slavery in Europe, like you said. There were Christians that actually would use the Bible to justify slavery back then, right? Same with America, early slavery in America. There were Christians.
Schofield's Bible comes to mind.
Right, Christians in America that would try to use the Bible to justify slavery, some verses in the Old Testament, whatever. There also a lot of the Nazi Germany were Christians back then, and they would even justify this stuff through. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's going to be a lot of these assholes out there. Like, even let's not even talk about religion. Let's just talk about just regular people. I mean, there's a lot of really fucked up people out there, and so you're going to see that same spectrum in religion. You're going to see the people that abuse religion and false teachers of religion and all of this stuff. So the worst part about it, Gary, is trying to distinguish these assholes from the real people. You know what I mean? And I don't want these assholes and these false teachers and these guys that are just using Christianity for their own gain to make us all look bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did a video, Stephen L. Anderson Destroys His Religion, where I basically asked Christians to stand up and defend yourself against somebody like that. I posed the question, either he is wrong and you should speak up, or he's right and you're all wrong.
Right. I agree.
If he's wrong, tell me where he's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. You got to speak up on stuff that you see that's wrong, and you can't just sit idly by. You know, what did they say that? God, there's this awesome quote by somebody in World War II. It says, in order for evil to happen, it doesn't mean that a bunch of people. Yeah, say it.
For evil to succeed, good men have to do nothing.
Do nothing. That's exactly what it is. That's all it takes.
Yeah, my stance on religion nowadays, I used to be a deist until I realized it was just me pulling shit out my ass. Religion, it's just too crazy. I mean, look at the geocentric model. You think God, if he was around, would have said, the sun does not revolve around us. If God was the Christian God was right, you think when we was worshiping animals way back in the day, he would have said, "I come with 2 feet, not 4 in fur." The oldest religion I can think of right now is Tiamat, the sky serpent.
Yeah, the dragon.
Out of Mesopotamia. I mean, where was God then? Where was the Christian God then?
Well, it has to do with certain. You've named a few different points here in history and stuff, and I think you brought up some pretty good examples. But kind of what it boils down to is, if there are other religions, or if there are other things going on, or if, for example, there are people that believe things that are wrong. Like you said, for a long time there was a shitload of people that thought the geocentric model was right, and the Catholic Church fought to the death on that shit to make it seem legit. But I mean, that's still going to fall under that. First of all, God kind of, the way that I look at it, he's kind of letting us find our own way. You know, he's going to let us make our decisions. I believe in free will. Some people don't, but I believe that God, you know, is going to let us make our own decisions. He's even going to let you reject God if that's what you want. Ultimately, you know, he's going to, you know, there's these murderers, sickos, you know what I'm about to say. This stuff happens and God doesn't stop it, and I think it has to do with free will, and it's because the place beyond this, Gary, is it infinite and eternal, and any person that was wronged, child, any of those people that didn't have a chance, they're going to be rewarded infinitely. But you know, you see what I'm saying? So I don't think that's too big of an issue. If the people that were wrong out of their own free will.
People are, wait, you blame the victim?
No. What I'm saying is the people that do wrong are wrong because of their own free will, and God's given them their free will. The victim is in the right. And let's say like a child gets, you know, taken out of this world because of something horrible and blah blah blah. That child is going to be rewarded by God with an infinity in heaven. And so what I'm saying is it had to suffer. I'm not denying that. Suffering does happen, especially on this earth. But what I'm saying is there's this cool thing about infinity, and I'll just say this to you really quickly. I didn't know this until a couple years back, but did you know that the number 1 and the number 1,000 are the same distance from infinity? 1,000 is no closer to infinity than 1. They're the exact same distance. So what that means is if eternal salvation is infinity, it doesn't matter what suffering you had. It's still infinite gain.
It matters in the moment. We live in the moment. I can't live in tomorrow. I can only stay in the moment till tomorrow comes.
I agree. Let's say, for example, Gary, you seem like a pretty good guy. I've talked to you a couple of times. I mean, you seem like you lived a pretty decent life. I'm not saying you're perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. But you know,
no, I would never be so. I would never lie to myself that much, or to anyone else, to say I was always a nice person.
But on average, you're a pretty good guy, right? Let's say that. Yeah. Okay. Let's say that tomorrow you go out and just something just horrible happens to you. Let's say that you've heard about those police slayings going on all over the country and all this stuff. Let's say that something like that happens to you. You know, you roll up, you get robbed or get shot or something. You didn't deserve that. You see what I'm saying? Let's say, just for example, I'm not saying any of this stuff is biblical. I'm just trying to compare it to suffering. So you definitely suffered there. You know, bled to death or whatever, and you suffered, no doubt about that, and you suffered unjustly. You didn't deserve that shit. And but let's say you wake up and God says, Gary, you know, they did you wrong down there, but I'm going to do you right, and I'm going to, you know, you're getting eternal salvation. Bang bang shakalaka. You still suffered. You still felt that pain, but do you think it's justly compensated with an eternity of, and you'll never have to worry about that shit ever again, Gary. Everything you've ever had to worry about, you won't have to worry about again. Is it worth it?
You're talking about the God that was fine with flooding, the murder in his name, the God that was made humanity so obviously flawed.
That's the guy.
I don't think I would want to be around that God.
Well, there's a few things about
that. Capricious. He's mean. He's vindictive. To me, this whole religion thing is like you being a matchmaker. You come up to me and say, I got the perfect match. This woman will take care of you, make your life easy, but if you don't love her as much as she loves you, she's going to toss you and your entire family into a lake of fire, and you'll never get out, and you'll be surrounded by all the other ones she's loved over the years. You think I'm going to say yes to that?
Right, but there's a distinction here, and
I think religion started off as a social engineering project. How to better manage people is you get them to manage themselves.
I've heard that before.
Expecting a reward.
I've heard that before.
Like other religions have done it, had similar things. Like there used to the Greek mythos. They used to spread rumors that if you help the poor out, one of them might be a god in disguise, and you'll get infinite wealth.
Gary, I want to thank you for coming to the Hangout tonight. Shamos, Hades, Sid, you were all excellent participants. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast now.
Yeah, my dog wants to go out. I better.
Dead to it, but thank you all, and have a good holiday. And happy
Jesus
New Year.
Christ is Lord. See
Take
ya.
care. Bye-bye.